The Wi-Fi drops.
Oof. Ooh.
Watch it!
Ooh.
I have no idea how fluid that was. It was choppy on my end, but
It was a bit choppy.
Look good.
But we got the essence of it.
that's
Make
good.
Solo 2 happen.
Make Solo 2 happen. Welcome, everybody, to Hyperspace Hype, episode number 51. A new era begins. I don't know. But I mean, over that big old milestone, that's insane. When we get to 100, which could be by celebration, who's to say? It's going to be nuts. Especially if we, commentary Star Wars. Definitely get there. I'm super excited to be back with another episode. Joining us, as always, we have Carson.
Yes, what is going on, guys? We are back with 2 episodes of The Bad Batch tonight. And what, just like some other general news stuff, some J.J. Abrams shenanigans, of course. We'll get into that. But yeah, I'm just glad to be talking hyperspace hype stuff because we kind of took a break for a little bit, but we're back. And
1 week.
I love taking
bi-weekly. We got our podcast paycheck in. Joining us, we got Evan.
Wow. Yeah. I'm ready every night. But I am happy to be doing the double dose of the Bad Batch. My red flags for a certain character continue to rise. So we'll talk about that. It's probably not going to be anything Star Wars. So, but yeah, I'm also excited to talk about J.J. Abrams, who loves to talk.
Every day I wake up and Nathan pushes the podcast.
I didn't want to say it. Nathan's tiredness and Carson's, I got a job and I'm tired. I don't know. He has some other excuses. I can't come to mind right now. It's something.
And nothing's going to happen in Star Wars as if that's saved Ben. Anyway.
Oof, ouch, why?
Hey, we're starting off the show hot.
I know, inciting violence. We should talk about you mentioned Celebration earlier. We didn't officially talk about Celebration in the updates thereof.
Yeah, but the hotels are gone. And we're in one.
I'm homeless. I'm just going to be walking around. Celebration.
I talk in fucking plot twist every time.
I was like, oh, wait, did I get a hotel or not?
I'm pretty sure I booked something.
I literally booked it. I'm like, I got nervous.
Every sentence is a trapdoor.
Nice. But yeah, we booked our hotels. We are staying in the same place.
I'm bringing a fucking lightsaber this time, like that bogus rumor last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you couldn't bring a lightsaber.
And I'm gonna bring a gimbal just to spite everybody. No gimbals. You can't bring a tripod or anything.
Oh,
it's professional video.
I'm an idiot. My brain was like guillotine. Or decapitate all our haters. Let's go.
The lines would be a lot shorter. I don't know. There wouldn't be any raffles.
God. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that's gonna go. I know it's like less of a stressful thing, but I missed the overnight line. That was a fun adventure.
I liked it too. Old school, it's less stressful because I know if I'm in line at a good spot, there's more certainty. But this one, how do they do it? They did it like raffle tickets kind of thing where you got like lucky lottery, right?
Yeah. People be trading QR codes.
Yeah, it was weird. And it was also really weird because they didn't really enforce it, right? Because for the Mandalorian thing, my brother didn't get the Mandalorian ticket, even though I did. It was a really messy situation.
Yeah, and then didn't we get him one or no?
No, but he was able to come in. Like, I could have tricked them because like I was in line.
Send him a screenshot.
No, I could send them a code. I thought he also had to have a code, but it turns out he could have just walked on in with me because they weren't really looking. If I would have said, "Oh, he's with me," they would be like, "Okay, cool, walk on in," because that's what happened to somebody else. So like it was really weird, but he did end up coming later for the Clone Wars season 7 panel.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think season 7 was open for everybody.
Yeah, season 7 was open for everybody, so
which is it's odd. It's just like this big one is open, but then it's like this one's not.
Yeah, and it's just weird. Like they need to enforce it or not enforce it. I don't know. I feel like if I'm in and I'm with like a family member, they should just come on in. I don't want them just be waiting outside. Like,
Wasn't
Also-
there a lottery for Phantom Menace, and then like that wasn't even like a super mega anything?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
remember how
weird.
big that place was? Like, it was, I mean, the bottom ring for the big panels was filled, but hypothetically, everyone that wanted to go probably could have gone and probably would have spread out fine with that Wintrust Arena.
Yeah. What also
They
gets
could-
me a little bit nervous is like this one's it's a smaller arena than Wintrust.
Right.
Wintrust is one of the biggest in the
in
country,
the
whatever.
for, yep.
So this is Anaheim. I've never been to Anaheim. I've been to LA before. Never been to the Anaheim Convention Center. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be cool. I'm glad that it's May 26th to the 29th because I'm gonna be out of the might be like my last week of school if I'm teaching. So that'll be it. But I can just call in this dip. Like, guys, this is a educational emergency. So yeah, that'll be it. I'm excited. It should be fun.
Me too, man. And
We
I
haven't
think,
seen each other in years.
I know, and it's gonna be awesome.
God.
One, to see each other, and two, we're gonna be within half a mile of the convention center, and we can just walk everywhere, and we won't have to pay $30
Oh
to
my
get to the
gosh.
thing, and like schedule our Ubers, and then like be late and be in traffic, and it's gonna be amazing because. We can go back to the hotel if we need to take a nap. I didn't even think about that because we could just get back in line. Like, oh, that's amazing.
Don't get me started on those naps. At Orlando, I had the biggest nap after the 40th anniversary panel. I came back. I was like, I gotta come back to get in line for The Last Jedi. My brother and I were late because we took a nap and we were knocked out for like hours. We missed like the Schmodown panel and everything. It was weird.
I went to the Last Jedi panel, and I was up at like I think 9 a.m. that like the day before. Awful. And then like I drive like all the way down to Orlando, where like the doors, I got there pretty much like right at midnight when the doors locked, and all the way to the next morning of the panel. And by the time like I ended up, I didn't even like stay like the full day of like that celebration. I mainly was just there for the Last Jedi panel. So I left I think somewhere around like I want to say like 3 p.m. or something. But like I had been awake for something like 30 plus hours.
Yeah, see,
Jesus.
that's where I'm like lottery all day. I mean, if I don't get into something, I'll be doing something else, which is a little
Publishing.
I think, the nice part.
I'm actually excited for the publishing this time around. They can't film
Oh,
me
yeah.
again.
We have
We're
a
gonna
High
get-
Republic now.
We're gonna get
Yeah.
phase 2.
Oh my
100%.
god!
By that point,
Wait, so Wave 2 comes out this month.
yeah.
I think Wave 2 is gonna last till the end of the year. I assume they have books coming out in June, July, and August. I think Wave 2 will end by December. Then
I bet they hold out for.
is there a
spring.
Wave 3 or they're just like Wave 1, Wave 2, then Phase?
I bet there'll be some
phase
like
2?
comics to hold over, and then I bet the
Yeah.
big thing will drop.
Because they need
Summer.
something from January to May. They need in that 5-month time gap next year.
Unless they drop the big third book. I don't know how many.
Because Claudia can't be going on like an absence for this long.
No.
Even Charles Soule isn't involved in Phase 2. I just remembered. 'Cause
Huh.
I don't think Charles has anything coming out for Phase 2. And granted, he's doing a lot of the comic books already with the Star Wars and the Bounty Hunter stuff. So
Right.
Can you guys believe it's been 2 years since we screamed at a projector showing a trailer?
Palpatine.
Yeah, literally, Evan's like, Palpatine? What? Carson's like, I'm just like eating half the screen with my yells. Like,
That reminds me.
Whoa!
Could we see any movie trailer next year? Could this be one of the Comic Con or celebrations where we see no movie trailer? Because Patty's is coming out December 2020.
No, I mean they might be
Right.
filming.
when are
by that-
we when's Kenobi expected to release? I know
Next
it's not a
year.
movie, but-
But yeah, it's not a movie. I think we're going to see a lot of trailers for the TV shows, but I don't think
Yeah.
we're going to see anything for the movies. Which
Maybe
is
not.
interesting. We could get another tease for Taika and Patty, probably.
Maybe some test footage or something.
I
Some
really hope they
test
have a
reels.
future filmmakers panel with Patty, Taika,
Maybe
everyone else.
Kevin Feige's 27
I'm at-
movie.
I'm having flashbacks to the Mando panel. Like, will Taika be on stage? Will Bryce Dallas Howard be there?
No, it was just another example of Dave and John Broen now for the 20th time with the same conversation they had every time. Iron Man in 2008.
General Kenobi.
What's up there, Ben?
Hey.
Hello there.
Top
But
tier,
yeah,
top
we.
tier.
I bet we get. Okay, let me rethink my Disney Plus timeline. I gotta I think we get a Cassian trailer. We get a Kenobi trailer.
You still
we
think Cassian's first, right?
What did we come up with?
I didn't know this shit was still filming. I'm like, damn.
Oh yeah,
It's
there's
like
12
filming.
episodes. It's 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll all be like an hour long?
I hope so. With how long
Yeah.
they're filming, I'm like, they started it in
Like,
October or September of
Yeah.
last year.
They're like, we don't have a volume. We started before we had the contract.
Right. Do we think that Mando season 3 will be out before Celebration?
Nope.
Really?
Oh
So
wait.
We have Book of Boba Fett.
Book of
but,
Boba could ride right into Mando, but I don't see Mando as a summer show. I feel like they want to save Mando for the fall
Because
show.
then it's going to be going on
That's normal for TV shows, though.
2 years from season 2.
Hell, where's my Barry season 3? Where's my Succession?
But it's different with these. I don't know, especially when you set the precedent that a year after.
True.
But we'll
They're
have to.
Disney.
What-
we'll
What's
have
a
other
couple
shows.
months? Yeah, if it's November or if it's May, it's just a 5-month thing anyway.
I bet it goes Boba, and then that will go into early 2022, and then Cassian.
I think Boba, Cassian, Kenobi, Mando.
Yes.
Could be
Yeah,
good.
I think so too.
I think Kenobi comes out at the same time right now where we're getting Loki.
And
Yeah, they probably don't have to worry about like the gap between Mando because there's so much other Star Wars stuff.
And I
Yeah.
maybe would even put Bad Batch season 2 in there possibly if we
Ooh-wee.
do like that.
Ooh-wee.
So
Yeah, we need that confirmation. Speaking of Bad Batch, though, I heard that's a good show.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Evan will try to convince you that Wrecker's gonna die, and I'm here to say, shut up.
You know, the more I thought about it, I'm like, they're pulling it on too thick. This is a Star Wars show.
This is how every Bad Batch member goes down.
Yeah, I'm like, if any clone was to die from this group, it's hands down either not Echo. It's either who's the smart guy? Tech. It's either Tech or Wrecker, 100%. But because Wrecker had that emotional connection with Omega, I'm like, oh, they're just pulling on our
They had a
heartstrings.
high five this episode.
High five. He made her a little cozy cot in the ship. So I'm like, okay, I think Wrecker's going to die. But now I'm just like, oh, they're just going to have Rex pull the chip out of his head and he'll be fine. After an emotional episode, probably, but still, he'll be fine.
yeah, I think it's gonna come in, especially how much it progressed in episode 6
Yeah.
with it, and with him literally getting knocked out and going like saying all that stuff and then waking back up. It kind of makes me think that it's gonna be over sooner than later because we still have 10 episodes to go or 9 episodes to go, right? And that's kind of a lot for that to just be dragged out for like a finale kind of deal. I don't know. That's kind of my thought process.
I agree. I think they're going to solve the Wrecker thing pretty soon. And then the end of the season is going to be more with Crosshair. Hopefully we get to see
Yes.
him some more.
The road to Rex. He'll fix it.
Yeah. I think Rex is going to come in soon. You saw him a little bit in the trailers doing something.
Right, and we maybe even saw him in this episode or the most recent episode. We don't know who that was at the end. So
Let's
gotta
talk
talk
about episode. Yeah.
oh no, stop.
Well,
Dave's like, how can I
if
fit Ahsoka in here?
Look, at least if it's Ashley animation.
Yeah, I mean,
That's true. Yeah. Let's talk about episode 5 though. That was a fun episode. Last week's
Yeah.
episode.
So we're taking jobs, trying to get some money going. Trandoshan speaking English. Let's go. The animation can do whatever they want.
Let me go to my notes here. So episode 5 was called Rampage.
Rampage.
Starring The Rock.
Sorry,
That would have been awesome.
Still haven't seen it.
It's pretty fun.
Oh, Rampage is a movie. I'm like,
Yeah, I was like,
it didn't click.
Jeffrey
I like that movie with Jeffrey D. Morgan playing.
Yeah.
What's the guy from Walking Dead? Negan, yeah,
He's playing Negan.
he was just playing Negan the whole movie. I'm like, okay, Jeff, whatever works for you. With that weird half like limp he has going on.
Yeah, like, I've been through some shit.
Yeah, just cracking jokes every 5 seconds. Weird. But yeah, they this was interesting because they talked to a character named Sid, which appears in both episodes. And
Okay, where's this? Yeah, where's the character been? Because I can't remember specifically.
so episode 5, they're looking for, I forget the reason they had to go to Ord Mantell. Oh, they wanted info on how to find Fennec Shand. So
Yes,
they go to,
or at least like who Fennec is.
Who Fennec is, because that was the person that attacked them in episode 4, played by the best Ming Na Wen.
The best Ming Na Wen. Not there are some bad
there's
ones.
two?
The best, comma
many
Ming
Na Wen.
Wow.
Sorry.
Really tee that one up for you guys. But yeah, so I think is the world that Sid is on Ord Mantell, or do they go to the world of Ord Mantell?
I think I don't know.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, Ord Mantell is where Sid is. They head to Ord Mantell to find Sid. Yeah,
but we've seen this bar before. Correct me if we've seen this in Clone Wars. I swear to God.
Have we?
I mean,
she
a lot
mentioned
of
she
bars
talks to
look the
Jedi.
same.
Yeah, exactly. I have no idea.
I'm not sure, but yeah, then don't we go to a planet that's like? Is it the same planet where we had that like slave arc in
the Zargarians, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it could be the same planet.
It was the same creatures. I know that.
Same creatures, same like slave master or whatever they are. Hate those people.
Oh, is this the one where like Padme had to intervene that one time, or Padme was there?
I don't know. It was Anakin,
Padme?
Obi-Wan, and
I thought it was
Ahsoka.
Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka, just with the slave mission.
Oh,
remember with the Queen that kind of had a crush on Anakin? It was weird.
Yeah.
Oh, the Clone Wars.
I know you were a slave, but you could enslave. No.
Yeah. And Nathan's out of the podcast.
That's what happened.
Yeah, it was really weird. Count Dooku showed up. Yeah, that was a fun arc.
I'm like thinking of like 4 different episodes and like merging them together.
All the slave episodes.
And it may be pulling from like Tarkovsky's Clone Wars too, because I'm like,
okay. Are you thinking of like that like test he had to go on and like with the natives, like
yeah, and I'm
tattoos?
I haven't watched that.
It's all blending, dude.
In a minute.
We could do that too. We should do a commentary on the Tarkov.
It's so good.
Like all of it together is only like 2 hours. So
yeah, we could do that. Yeah, because I haven't watched it in a hot minute. So they head to Ord Mantell to find Sid. Did you guys? I liked how Omega was the one that found Sid, because they're all like acting like idiots. Like, okay, Sid said
you're not Sid.
Not
got it.
Got it. Okay, cool.
It's all 3 people there. Oh, that's
good
not
job,
Sid.
Tracker Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter's garbage. People were saying like this is another example of Omega's like innate Force abilities because she automatically knew who she is. What is you guys' thoughts on this right now? Because
no, it's just intuition.
5 and
it's
6.
just kids.
I think it's
see
intuition
it,
as well. Yeah.
I was worried because like I hadn't caught up completely on the episodes yet, but then like I saw like someone did a reaction like in their thumbnail. Omega was holding the blaster bow,
and I'm like,
but
wait,
like the way it was cropped, I was like, is that a fucking lightsaber?
Oh wow! Oh no!
I was like, is it an Inquisitor lightsaber? What's happening?
Yeah, I was kind of spoiled on this episode. Not spoiled, but like there was so much discourse on this damn Moochie. Like,
all I
in
knew,
the morning.
All I knew about was like a baby Rancor, and luckily that's also the thumbnail on Disney Plus. So it was like, all right, I didn't miss out. But so the dress right now, a lot of people were like, it's the Return of the Jedi Rancor, but then others were like, with their Wikipedia knowledge, and no, it's a different one with the names. Sorry, Noah. But
it's weird, right? Because it could be either way. Because like,
I mean, it's just the process, probably, right?
Yeah, I think because Star Wars Explained was saying, I keep saying Star Wars Explained. Alex, Alex was saying like, there was like this one, not Wikipedia, there's one like book that had the gender.
One of the aftermaths, right?
Yeah, well, one of the aftermaths, some like canon book said that the Rancor was like male, and this one was female. So there's like a gender thing. But that's easily like you can easily change that. Like that can easily change. But then another thing said like, in here it's called Moochie, but the Master Return of the Jedi calls it something else. I'm like, names can change by owner. So like it could still be the same rank. I think the show was wanting us to think it's the same Rancor.
Filoni said, "Fuck your canon comic. Fuck your aftermath." No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, who knows? We could get to the end of the season, and it could be a
fuck your Ahsoka novel.
Quicksilver joke with Evan Peters. We don't know.
People still burned.
I'm still mad. Okay.
Rancor boner? What?
Why do you cast him in the show?
Because it was a fun to have him on the show. God damn it!
No, Evan, your logic never made sense. Even though it's what happened, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, we're like 4 months past the show.
You guys are
Your
using
logic
logic.
made zero sense.
You're
We are using
Zero.
logic. We are using canon and knowledge.
You guys are using logic. I'm just using emotion. They wanted to get an
What are you
emotion out of the
if
audience.
this was legit like detective work, we would like have shown, motherfucker. We did like the work while you had a calculator. Like we.
Wow. Ouch.
That's what happened.
Shots.
I just.
Anyways,
the
wrong
teacher graded
franchise.
Yes.
Back-
Back to the thing. Did you guys suspect that Muji was like the Rancor before they went to the mission?
I heard discourse about it on Twitter, so like I was like, how could it be? And I was like watching, I was like, how? And I saw like they were like teasing Bib Fortuna in the hologram, and I was like, oh, it's Bib Fortuna, huh? Yeah, maybe not. And it was, but like even other than that, I was just watching. I was like, all right, cool. Rancor transport could be for anything. Oh, it is for Jabba. Also, whatever. I mean, I'm not like thinking like, wow, they did a backstory on him in the Star Wars universe is too small. I'm not thinking that at all. I was just thinking like, oh, we just see a process of how Jabba gets his Rancors.
Right, and I was
100%.
even thinking it's so much more focused on like how Omega navigates the situation, and I really thought it was cool of like, you know, we always go back to that episode in the farm where like, oh my god, like this monster is a monster, but then like by the end of this, you know, she's just on top of the rank. I just love like that little progression of happens of like, you know, not everything's an enemy. Like we're in these like contested situations, but then like I love how it gets flipped of like, oh, like, you know, Moochie and Wrecker just gotta like fight it out for a bit, and then we'll just go like, you know, like I love that little push and pull with the different people.
Oh my god, is that what triggered his ship, or was he feeling it like weirdly beforehand?
No, I don't think there was any hint during that fight.
No, there wasn't.
No, I think like before they landed, he was having a little.
Yeah, before he landed, he was like, I have a small headache, but then it was never brought up later in the episode.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I didn't like the trick where it's like, oh, Moochie, you just gotta kidnap this person, or not kidnap, we just gotta rescue this person, and then it's all fine. But then the Rancor was Moochie.
Yeah,
that was really
the
cool.
amount of times they're like, Omega, you gotta stay here, and then like they get
I love it
screwed over
every
and
week.
It's like, oh wait, all right.
And does she get a comms link this episode, or is that episode
Oh,
Yeah,
was
this
that last
episode.
episode 5?
Episode 5, yeah.
Yeah,
That was really cute.
Yeah, it's like it's not a toy, but like
I found
she like
Sid.
goes behind them like, hey. Yeah, it's so cute.
Yeah. I gotta see the voice actors for Omega. 'Cause I have no idea what they look like. But yeah, Omega's really cool. Like the voice actress. And again, yeah, Omega's really carrying this team. Really carrying, hard carrying. Like week to week, I'm like, Omega's really carrying. Maybe not so much the latest episode, but like, she's great.
I can't understand how anyone cannot like Omega. I really don't.
Right?
Like
Impossible.
Are you annoyed at children's innocence? Get out. Like,
Yeah. Please don't send Omega off at the end of the season.
And you know what else was really good in this episode? Just like contextually with everything that's going on, it's like Sid like doesn't threaten him, but is like, hey, like I know you got heat on your back, like work for me or else, kind of, maybe, haha. Like I kind of like that because they're like kind of stuck of like,
Me
obviously
too.
you're worth something.
haha,
It's
just
kinda-
kidding. Unless like,
Yeah, and I kind of like that.
I love that too. Let's talk about that because that's a very interesting aspect of, especially the way it flowed from this week
Right.
or last week to this
And
week.
the Empire in general.
In terms of the Bad Batch having to take jobs from Sid that are very questionable in nature, but they don't question it. Like they basically were working for Jabba, who was a horrible cartel boss
and slave trader.
and enslaved trader. Like Jabba's a horrible person. We like him
Hutt's a
because he's
gangster.
Jabba. He's a terrible gangster. He's a terrible person. He killed numerous people. But they worked for him. They worked for the person to help get a Rancor, which is used to eat people for Jabba. They don't know that, but of course they're not. That's the kind of thing, right? They're not asking these questions. They didn't
Right.
do so with that mission last week, and they definitely didn't do so with this week's episode as well. So I'm like,
well, it gets. I think this week it kind of gets like more interesting. Like when they, like wait, what is this tactical droid for? Which was also an interesting thing of being like, the worth of them gone up in the galaxy because they know how to fight against the clones, which is now the Empire.
Right.
Pretty.
And I
pretty
like what I really like is I can't remember if it was episode 6, episode 5. I think it might have been Tracer Rafa that said it, like when they were departing at the end of like something about sides, but like
yeah, that was Trace.
Yeah, but I really like it as like I like the kind of Star Wars where it's like you can't be apolitical as much as you want to be. You can't exist really in that middle ground, and it's kind of this show is kind of like you can't not question your decisions with the Empire, escape that, and then just not question anything else. You can't just turn off and just survive. You always have to be on top of things. And it's like interesting to see them go with that because they're like, okay, we're questioning all this stuff and we don't agree with them like morally or philosophically. And then we go over here and we're like, all right, fine, we got to do this job.
Yeah.
But then we find out after the fact of like, hey, this may have repercussions that we could have controlled in the first place. And so I like that little like realization. And Omega helps them like figure that out every week of like, hey, like this is kind of messed. Like maybe we should figure this out better. And
it's very interesting. They're coming from an organization where, like Carson said, they left the clones and the Empire basically because they didn't want to kill the Jedi. And especially in episode 2 when the deserter asked them like, okay, the best part, like the reason I never got caught because I stayed in one place, I raised a family. What is your guys' goal? And they were like, we kind of don't really know. They still, they're in that middle ground. It's very interesting because it's not like they're choosing, it's not like there's a war going on and they're choosing not to do anything about it.
Yeah. It's
not that. It's not like during the original trilogy and they're all like, we don't want to get involved. They're not really doing that. They're just like, we had a purpose as clones. Like, we used to just follow orders. Now we don't really know what to do. We're taking jobs for this Rancor thing, for money and for information to help us out because we know a bounty hunter is coming after us. So that's kind of our main goal. But we really don't know anything beyond that. They're still on just like this one-track mind. And that kind of got resolved more so in episode 6 and episode 5.
Yeah, and it's growing each episode, which I really appreciate. And I think, honestly, better than like just looking at like Mando, it's interesting because we have, of course, the parallels of like, okay, they got to take care of this kid. But also, I feel like Bad Batch has done a little bit better, a lot better in terms of like fleshing out the world and decisions they have to make versus just focusing on what they have to do with Omega. Like, it still has like that rounded feel of like, okay, we had to make these other decisions too. Like, how does that affect us? And I think I really appreciate the show for like taking that extra step sometimes. And maybe that's just because animation, we have more room to breathe a little bit. But I don't know.
That's interesting. Because I kind of agree. And there's been a lot of comparisons to Mando in this show. And I think some of it is a little bit warranted in the sense that, yes, these are characters who aren't Jedi or Sith, and they're taking random missions across the galaxy, and they have a little trial to protect. That's kind of it. But you're right. On the one hand, Mando has 40-something minutes, sometimes 50. So, this show, it caps out at 23 minutes. But for some reason, I kind of agree with Carson. I think this show has time to develop their relationship with Omega while also taking time to tease things for the future with Wrecker. They have time to develop what's going on with Crosshair, which we haven't seen recently, but still they did it.
Yeah, I think it will pop
back up.
And it will pop up again. So it's like they're doing a lot of things that Mando was stuck on Mando and Baby Yoda.
Yeah, maybe
this is a lot.
Maybe it's because like they actually like get through it. I don't know if it's like because they get through like a weekly adventure quicker, but like we also have like more episodes ahead to get like a longer through line.
That's a great point. Great point. Yeah.
To do that,
double the episodes.
And I love all the inferences in the episodes too of like even like little lines of like, can't remember, again, Tracer Rofford, one of them said it of like, oh, I heard your clones are with the Empire now. It's what you do. Like even stuff like that. And I'm like, dang, like now all these assumptions are on them because they're still I mean, they have altered armor, but it's like it's still that identity of the clone kind of deal, you know. Even though they're the Bad Batch, it's like, oh, like, are you with the Empire? Like, why are you here? Like, they kind of assume that they are with the Empire, pulling a job to get this information.
Yeah.
When Trace and Rafa needed it for someone who was going to save people, and so it's very interesting to see that dilemma. And they're like, oh, like we like we're just here, like
yeah, we didn't have to get this far. Yeah, it's very interesting. At the end of episode 5, what did they learn about Fennec Shan, by the way? I didn't want to forget that. What's been a big reveal?
her name, and like she.
Oh
like,
yeah, they didn't know the name Fennec Shand.
And she hasn't been like on the scene for long, but she's definitely made an impression.
Okay, that was interesting because I watched the behind the scenes thing. I think it was like on StarWars.com, one of their weekly videos, and some random viewer had a question for the developers of Bad Batch, and they said they really wanted to get Fennec right because she is new to the scene, which I didn't really realize. It's really cool to see like how Fennec is. I guess like it's been a little bit over a year, or maybe a couple years. You can kind of guess she's kind of new to this whole thing. But I like seeing kind of like a newly developed bounty hunter compared to literally every other bounty hunter we saw in the Clone Wars. Like my guy, I'm blanking on him.
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane, yeah, he's kind of like a seasoned pro. And then we see like somebody like Fennec. It'll be interesting to see those two go head to head.
Don't we see Cad break into the Jedi Temple first arc for him?
It's first arc. First arc.
What a guy.
Anakin Skywalker. I'm like, come on. He's the best.
Going through the vents, and there's like lasers in there. It's like, oh, it's a problem, I guess. Oh,
literally steals the holocron.
He's so nonchalant. He's like, all right, I guess.
Yeah. This is a little
Show me
foil.
the credits.
Show me the credits.
Let me blow up my droid friend. Like,
he's the best. Yeah, we gotta do a commentary on the Cad Bane episodes because they're just a blast. I like the one where he sealed up Ahsoka in an event. He was like, Anakin, you either rescue your girl Ahsoka or don't let me escape. Which one do you want to do? I was like, come on. You tricked Anakin like twice. Okay. But yeah, I know exactly. That's your weakness, Anakin. But,
meanwhile, the other Jedi are crashing into family homes like, but the Force will be with you. Which brings us back to Trace and Rafa. They're here.
It does.
Yeah,
they're
episode
here
6.
On Corellia. I was like, part of my brain was like, I don't want connectivity. If you wanted to show me Han and Kira, I would not be mad.
Really mad. How old would they be at this point, right?
Yeah.
Teen?
Maybe child.
When does Solo take place again?
Solo is Solo's 10 years before A New Hope.
And
So
how many years
10
after
years.
Revenge of the
Revenge of
Sith,
the Sith is an 18-year time gap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Han's like 20 in Solo, I would say he's probably like 10-ish.
10-ish year. Yeah. Did you guys ever read that book with Han and Kira? I never got to read it.
I did not.
Yeah, it's like a YA book or something.
Yeah. I think I have the Audible on it. I just haven't watched it.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet. Oh, okay. Side note, quickly. I'm 100 pages left in Into the Dark, and it's so good. Reith is such a good character, dude, and then just some of the stuff we're talking about. Okay, anyways.
Great. Those last 100 pages gets better. It gets better. But yeah, on Corellia, I always like going to Corellia. I wish we saw more of it because they kind of just like dipped into the factory of itself, and we've seen Corellian factories before. I want to see
Attack of the Clones vibes. I'm like, oh my god, my childhood.
Yeah, so I wasn't the only one. Like this was definitely like a Geonosis kind of feel to it.
Conveyor belts, stuck under something, stuck under a droid.
Yeah, plasma burning to death, where we can't. It's just like literally mulching together and like just like going down this massive.
Omega had her Toy Story 4 situation.
She
or
did.
Toy Story 3, yeah. I was thinking that too. I was like,
grab my
bring
hand.
your tissues. Like Vin Diesel,
bear.
grab my hand.
That damn teddy bear.
Oh my god! Every time that man is just like, I know there's like a mile gap to grab my hand. That man has magnets in his hand, and that's how they got to the plot point.
And quick tease for our upcoming Fast 6 commentary this week. We get the iconic Vin Diesel action scene where he jumps over the highway. Remember?
We'll get there, dude. Okay, I was watching that, and
I'm a father.
I forgot that even happened. I forgot that even happened when I watched it. I was like,
"This is insane."
No, I wasn't thinking insane. Honestly, I was feeling emotion behind it because I was like, "We gotta save lives."
Right. Wait, that's when he goes through the windshield, right, and goes over the little bridge thing, or
no, my audience, like, they were like, damn, like, they were very responsive to
like he should have died when he like grabbed her and tucked and rolled onto the other side of the highway.
And
then I watched the Fast 9 clip of the bridge thing, and it's so casual.
Yeah,
Dom, and he's just like,
like show some kind of scared or something.
Look, it's fun.
I love it.
It's so good.
Vince a cameo in Star Wars. Just like
Holy
play,
shit.
play some alien.
You know what? Get him in Star Wars animation. Like I would
Easily, right?
He could totally do it, and it may be like I could totally see him be like some swindler character or like some.
They take his jumbled line readings and they make it alien dialogue.
Oh please, let's make a Vin Diesel language, and then he'll be like, "I've been thinking about this for a long time. Like it's just something that comes to me naturally. Like I casted my voice."
Nice.
Oh, I want an alien named Toretto in the Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool alien name.
Han Solo's best friend Toretto. Tell me he doesn't sound legit. Like,
Oh, they do street racing. That's how he got into racing needles on Corellia. That's
that'd be awesome.
Vin is
no, I haven't played
Needles.
Vin Needles. Vin Needles.
Vin Needles.
Street racer. But
Yeah, I like the beginning where you can kind of tell, like those two are kind of not going to get along, but then they are going to get along. But I just like to reveal that they included Trace and Rafa. It was really cool. I did not expect that at all.
at first, like you just see like Rafa's face, and I was like,
Is that you? Hello?
"Hey!" I did not think I'd see them ever again, so it was really cool.
Me neither. I had no idea when they could possibly come back, and it kind of
Also,
gives
are they
recognition
joining-
to what
Also, are they joining the cause? Question mark.
seems like it.
Very
We'll get to that in a
interesting.
second. But it kind of gives justification for like the season 7 arc that people constantly shit on, especially when it was going on live. Remember, people were like, "Is Filoni a hack? Like, has he gone bad?" I'm just like,
He
"You guys."
devoted a third of the season.
Probably-
We could have done all like the Cad Bane Boba.
Probably
duel.
the best arc for
Yeah.
Ahsoka's characterization in that season. Not gonna lie. Like, that-
Easily.
yeah.
Oh, I will forever be pissed that everyone's like, they escaped the prison just to be back in the prison. There's character development, goddammit.
Totally. I remember we were on the podcast the
Yeah,
day
like,
of. We were like,
You hacks! You watch this thing early and then you just trash it. You.
And then we get to the finale of Mando, and they're like, and it's Luke. Like, I'm tired. I'm fucking. I've had it.
I saw the clip recirculating of like literally the X-wing like going through those windows. I'm like,
No.
why is this shot so long? It shows it through every single window to make sure you know it's an X-wing. Okay,
It's
I'm done.
dreadful.
throwback. Yeah, that tweet's going around. It's like, when you saw this scene with Luke, what did you think? And I'm like, I'm not going to quote
Mine
you.
was empty. I didn't. Nothing.
You don't wanna know.
You don't want to know.
I mean, at first I was like, and then time passes. I'm like,
I saw someone tweeted it's like, is that Sebastian Stan? Oh no, it's not.
yeah. So I was like, oh shit, they got Sebastian Stan. I thought that too. After Rosario, anything's possible. But yeah, it's cool seeing Corellia, and
Yeah.
didn't we visit? No, we visited Kessel in Clone Wars, season 7
Yes.
for Trace
Kessel.
Rafa.
Did we?
Yeah,
we
yeah,
did.
we
Yes.
Trace and Rafa really got that solo vibes
Energy to
going.
it.
Which I think it
Yeah.
fits. I think it fits really well with their characters.
Put them in the solo sequel, honestly.
Oh my god, please!
Wow.
I would
They
love
would fit
that.
really well in the solo sequel. Yeah, or in like a Fallen Order 2 situation. Or is that too late? No, that could work.
No, because
Right.
Fallen Order's 5 years
Yeah,
after. and
Fallen Order 2
Yeah.
could work as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is immediate, so.
But I like. Did you guys like? We get this whole Clone Wars kind of deal of these like droids getting destroyed. I really like that whole bit. And then
Nice seeing droids again.
I love the action of like them like fighting off together and like forcing to accept that they have to fight together, and then like just that whole vibe was amazing to see. Like, okay, guess we got to work together. Like, F you, but like I want it's mine, but like guess I'll.
It's
work
always
with you.
fun when you see people like on opposite sides, kind of, but they both
Yeah.
are good, so you know they gotta work together.
And they're like, "Oh, you got a
Yeah.
kid, Omega. She's just like chilling with her little crossbow. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
just
good.
casually talking to like Rafa. I think one of them.
put it down." Omega's
Yeah.
like, "Put it down." My arms, like the noodle arms.
Yeah, yeah. She's like, and then Rafa's just looking at her like, "Are you trying to shoot me right now? Like, you don't want to do that?" And then, oh man,
And you made me pull up my bow, idiot.
Yeah. It's so good. And even like by the end, like they were having the whole debate of like how like the information can like help people, and Hunter still had a copy of the info, and you know, he could have like taken it for payment, but no, he gave it to the right cause.
Oh, I
This is
thought they
good.
had it too. Assumedly, I don't know. I just thought Tech
Mhm.
had it as well, but still,
No, I think that was the only copy of it because it attached to the head of it.
in the head
very
exploded.
true, very true.
What was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. But I was gonna say I think I'm very curious to see where Rafa and Trace go after this.
So
Hopefully
this
we
was-
see them again.
This was an interesting thing pointed out because at the end, Trace and Rafa have R7, and then it was being shared around that R7 is in like a dismantled state in the last scene of Clone Wars when Rex and Ahsoka are like the victory and death and all that. So I never thought of that scene being a jump forward so much, but I guess it could be. I don't know how we end up in all this. Maybe we'll like pop in real quick to Ahsoka and Rex to like get the chip info, and then they'll be off to that scene.
Wait, so you think this takes place before the end of the Clone Wars?
Like before that final scene, I guess. So I mean,
I figured they just rebuilt it. Was it like permanently destroyed?
Too.
I don't know, man.
It's a droid. Fix that shit. Takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, but they never do. They just get new ones.
They do.
But it's Trace and Rafa though. They always
I figured this was after.
I don't know the history of R7. I know he's been around for a bit.
No clue.
I don't know.
I have no idea who R7 was before somebody tweeted that at me. I'm like, okay. But I just thought like, okay, this is after the scene of season 7. Rex or Ahsoka or Bail gave R7 to Trace and Rafa, plain and simple. They fixed it. Yeah, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this takes place after. That would get very confusing. That'll get into the whole Rebels. When does this take place with the epilogue and stuff? And I don't think we need that again.
Speaking of which, now you said Bail Organa. I'm like, what if the person at the end was Bail? Like, it'd be.
I didn't think it was Bail, but I was watching Alex's video. He said like Bail was
the turncoat or whatever.
Turncoat or Sash. Yeah, I'm like, I automatically thought that was Rex. I'm like, oh, that's Rex. But it could be a Bail.
It looked Roby, and I was like,
yeah, I was like
Ahsoka, but then they said, I guess like they also specifically said he or him.
So it'd be interesting because, like, Trace and Rafa went from like just trying to survive to kind of animosity against the Jedi, obviously, to kind of respecting Ahsoka,
but not respecting.
Not respecting the Jedi and kind of staying out of the fight because the Clone Wars was very specific and like they were just in literally levels all the way down trying to survive in Coruscant. It'd be very interesting for the arc to jump all the way up to like helping the cause, you know.
Imagine it's like everyone's just like it could be Bail, and then you cut to actual Bail. And he's like, I'm literally a dad now. Like I'm just busy.
It's like
he's an Autoron. Yeah. It's a bright sunny day. What could possibly go wrong?
We got 19 years. We
got 19 years.
Which is another thing is like every time I now see like rebellion build up, especially now, I'm like, we got at least 20 years before we like even hit a dent. Like it's just so
right.
much.
But yeah, I forget what the end of Trace and Rafa's arc looked like. I know they grew to like Ahsoka, but Ahsoka told them because homegirl Bo-Katan came in and said like, we need your help for it, blah blah blah.
Yeah. I felt like there was sort of I don't know if
there was a reconciliation, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if I meant like in this episode. I didn't know if there was a specific reference to like that arc because I remember Hunter was like, you know, the clones are like bad enough, but like we're different, and they were like, yeah, I heard that before. I don't know. I
heard that before
for Ahsoka.
I feel like that was I think that was not a dig at Ahsoka, but Ahsoka did tell them up front like, hey, I'm not like the other Jedi, and they're like, are you really?
And to that point, it makes me think like, would they even be talking to Rex if they felt that way? I don't know. Like,
if Rex was working with Bail and them, or if they're working for the early rebellion, then I guess they would. Because I don't know.
Give me a new character.
Yeah,
Josh was in.
Give me a new character.
I was reading back our spoiler chat, and Josh was like, "Who is it? Rex, Ahsoka, Dryden?" I was like, "Dryden? What? How did you get Dryden?"
Yeah,
I think Dryden could show up in the series because he was in the Clone Wars season 7 a little bit.
Yeah, they made a model.
And
we know if they make a hologram model, they did it for Kanan.
Look at Ben's comment. Look at Ben's comment.
Oh, what do we got? An
God damn it.
Good old Alderaan jokes.
Good old Alderaan. Except when it's Cara Dune trying to talk about it. Like,
have you lost somebody?
I bet you lost people, did you? Yeah, the whole planet got exploded, buddy.
That was easily.
They really tried to sell us on that entire show in that one scene, and I'm not going to forget it. That was ridiculous.
That was the funniest line in Mando history. You can't get funnier than that.
kind
The
of
delivery there
backdoor
was just
pilot.
like,
Oh, jeez.
You did lose somebody, didn't you? Motherfucker, I lost the planet!
You could easily take out that scene. Doesn't change.
Doesn't
Doesn't change a
anything.
dang thing.
I know she's like technically working with them now, and like she
Right,
got info,
right.
but like,
Oh,
whatever.
that was too fucking funny.
I just remembered she's not going to be in season 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, we don't know. Actually.
What did she do in season 2?
Nothing.
Be their
Smart.
getaway driver?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
she got info. I guess.
Oh, yeah, she gave them info on comedian dude,
The prisoners.
Yeah.
Bill Burr.
which was a good episode.
Better
yeah.
characterization than Finn in the entire trilogy. Get the fuck out.
Disgusting. These Star Wars takes, man. We should do one episode of this bad Star Wars takes.
Oh, it
would
would be
love to.
4 hours long. I
Yeah,
couldn't even.
one.
Everyone, bring your most trash take you can find.
I'm bringing vodka to that episode.
We're talking about one bad take later this episode of the whole plan debacle.
Oh God. Okay.
But yeah, so I think my leading guess right now, is Rex, but Bail Organa is a strong one too because I think Rex doesn't wear that kind of clothes, so I'm just leaning on Rex, but it could easily be Bail as well. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, we'll tell you. We have so many opportunities for tons of crazy Star Wars podcasts after the Bad Batch wraps up.
We really do.
Side note, I am just stunned at how like Carson was like fumbling for a photo and it matches his lighting perfectly.
I know, and I didn't even. I put on like pink and purple because I was like, oh, it looks cool, and then like the sunset just like makes me look like I'm.
You have like the right shadow side of your face. Like, what the hell?
It's like you're actually there.
Wow, immersion, the volume.
The volume.
I would get so motion sick in the vibe, I'd just throw up.
Oh yeah, especially if someone like turned on the fucking hyperspace and they just spun space. Like,
John was like, Evan, that was $1 million. I'm like, I'm sorry, I just threw up on that shit. So I just threw up on Grogu.
it'll cost less to clean up. Whatever.
I'm the Grogu puppet.
Wow.
I was looking through photos for the thumbnail today, and then I found someone who had like a thumbnail on YouTube video, and they were like, "Grogu will be in the Bad Batch," and I was like, "What is happening?" I was
Why? Yeah.
Why?
Oh my God.
Just
Josh Lee just said it in the chat. Yo, what if the hologram was Bale? I'm gonna say
wow.
we just talked about that.
You just talked about that. But yeah, I think those are the only two leading. So Bale and Rex are the only two male leading suspects right now. Either way, it's really cool to see, like Nathan was talking about, Rafa and Trace working for the rebellion. It's a really cool continuation of their arc that I didn't really expect. I mean, I guess there's nowhere else to go, but those two specifically were really kind of like searching for that freedom aspect. They wanted to get out of the bottom of Coruscant. I really felt for them there. But to see them quickly side with, like, yeah, let's think about our actions more. Because even during the Season 7 arc, that was one of the things Rafa had to learn. Because she was, like, working with the Kessel, whatever what they were, cartel.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, you do know where this came from, right? Even though I don't agree with Trace, like, emptying the cargo. And then that kind of ruined everything. That was pretty dumb.
Now none of you win. Well, now we're fucked.
Now we're fucked. Now we're fucked. I was so angry. So yeah, that was funny.
Oh, hello.
What's up, Jedi Master PZJ?
That's an awesome name.
I love seeing that Rey clip there.
It's so
The
nice
Last
to
Jedi
have
arc.
reviewers.
Her Last Jedi cloak is still my favorite.
It's so nice to have
So
viewers.
good.
Also, thank God it's a Ray photo, so I'm like, oh, good. We know where you stand. Go.
Last Jedi Rey.
Oh, Nathan's
I
got
do
the
love-
shirt in.
I do love the Rise of Skywalker outfit, but the Last Jedi one just
I'd have to
Yeah,
cover
I
up
like
her scar.
the gray mixed in just makes it perfect. I love it.
makes it better. Yeah, even though I do like all white, it kind of symbolizes.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of
Lighting
the
costume.
the in between costume that Galaxy's Edge has?
I don't know if I've seen that one.
I haven't seen it. I forget
think
what
it-
it's like.
I
Is
think
it
it's
the
like
one the cast members have, or is it like just like?
or it's
art
like in
design?
the I think it's in the ride where like Daisy's wearing like the TLJ like gray with like the white
Right.
sleeves.
Oh, and it's supposed to be like right after Last Jedi or something.
Yeah, I think it's like a progression costume.
Interesting. I'll have to look it up because I know what you're talking about.
So, two things. Do we think we see Trace and Rafa again after this episode?
Yes.
I hope so.
I hope so.
But also,
I
How
also remember when I was at the end of Clone Wars, I was like, Trace and Rafa are going to be in the finale. Bad Batch will be in the finale. Everything's going to culminate.
Kanan's going to be in the finale.
Kane's going to be the Order 66, Elder Perspective, Cal Kestis.
Depending on who Trace and Rafa are working for,
Oh yeah, well,
depending on how this Crosshair mission ends up playing out, there could be an
Didn't
opportunity.
didn't Trace and Rafa tell like their
What if
contacts
Crosshair
where?
kills today's Rafa?
No,
Stop.
no.
Stop. Why? Why would you put that into the universe?
I'm sorry. Oh shit.
Oh, he just like snipes him as.
Oh, no.
Evan?
No.
I'm sorry. Evan has left.
Look, anyway, I lost my train of thought. God damn it! I was gonna say, yeah. Didn't Trace and Rafa like let their informant know like where to find the Bad Batch?
Oh, they did, didn't they?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, because they called him on saying like, "Hey,
him.
yeah." They said like, "This is information that you would like
Right.
about the Bad Batch."
And I think they're like, you could get us information from Camino or something. I don't know. It doesn't have to be like that, but it could be like something where it'd be a trade-off of like, you need to figure out Crosshair, whatever it gets to the point of progression. I'm sure there's going to be a few more skirmishes by the time we get there, but something could line up where Trace and Rafa would be sent by whoever to
Wait,
go
what about
with them.
Crosshair?
I think they're going to either try to rescue or
The Bad Batch are?
Yeah, because they're going to figure out this chips and they're going to be like, well, if Wreckers is like this, I think, Crosshair really isn't acting against his will. And maybe text like, oh, you could amplify it.
I
That's
think
the
like
dangerous mission.
Yeah.
I think the next time they run into Crosshair, they're probably gonna be like in battle.
I think so too.
Mhm.
And I don't know when that's gonna pop up. It could be not till like closer to the finale.
I hope we see him sooner. I loved his perspective in episode 2 or 3, whatever.
I think we got to get him sooner.
I want to see more Crosshair and Omega scenes.
I mean, Omega be in his crosshairs. Boom!
Oh, Evan's getting kicked.
Yeah, he's.
No. Yeah. So that'd be interesting. Darth Maul and the Bad Batch.
Darth Maul's the contact.
I do love underbelly cartel Darth Maul. I do love that Darth Maul, where he's like working with Dryden in them.
But I do think if we're getting like underbelly stuff in that regard, it would probably be Dryden more like.
I agree. He's such an easy character for them to introduce, right? Steal an artifact from this place. Oh wait, that's Dryden's castle. They made the character model. Come on.
Also, people are like floating around on Twitter, like when they were in Sid's office, there was a white Mando helmet on the wall, and they were like, "It's set up for Boba. Why they wouldn't just animate that for the background?" Yes, they fucking would.
Yes, they would. Star Wars is built on background artifacts.
I mean, it's not like I'm pitching where it's like a whole avatar is like here with slight animation. Like it's an art piece in the back. It's
right.
blank
It's
white.
like...
It's fine.
Oh, that was the other question I was going to ask you guys. So after this whole revelation, they're like, maybe we should think about our orders now. Are they going to continue working for Sid? Because 2 weeks in a row they worked for Sid. They worked for missions for Sid. Is that going to continue next week? I think they're going to be like, hey Sid, I know you're kind of threatening us, but we got to stop working for you. At least tell us something about this mission before we go on another one. Because I think this route is going to continue on and on and on before they start asking questions.
I think it could be a good designated base at times. I don't know if like Sin's going to be like an ally as much, but I mean, we had that quick scene of like helping Omega with shots. I don't know, but
yeah, Omega shoots Sid. No, God,
Jesus. Did Omega ever get her crossbow back?
Yeah, she scooped it up at the running out of the factory.
Okay,
cool.
And she was all happy
I
about
really
it.
like that.
Go back and it's pretty cute actually. If you go back, she sees it on the ground. She's like, and like scoops it up. It's like everything's exploding. It's pretty great.
That's amazing. But yeah, of course, the big emotional thing was the Wrecker thing because that was huge. Yeah. That was very surprising. I think, like you all said, it has to get fixed sooner than later. It's just sad. Like he's not like telling them. I'm like, yo, guys, something's wrong with my head. Like, can you guys like help me out here or something? Like, can you vocalize the danger that they're going to be in?
I think Rex will witness it hopefully and like be like, guys, like it's not good. Like
I think it'll especially be trouble that it's like Wrecker who's like our strongest member. And
yeah.
If we have to confront that,
oh God.
Ow.
Oh, Omega has to shoot Wrecker now. Okay.
No,
I'm done.
Omega has to bring our Wrecker back through his mind. Just
that'd be awesome.
That just reminded me of a scene in Into the Dark. I literally just read to say, ow, okay, like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Hey, big guy, something's getting real low.
Age of Ultron, classic, cult classic, right?
And Ragnarok.
It's been what, 6 years?
7. Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Jeez. No, wait, yeah, 6 years.
I just saw a
can't
tweet the other day, guys, that Prisoner of Azkaban came out 17 years ago.
How is that
17
possible?
years.
Was that 2006 or I can't count.
2003.
2003. Wow.
Hey.
Prisoner of Azkaban 2003. That's early. Damn.
I know.
Damn.
Really.
Yep. Yeah.
They were really like back to back in years for a second before being like every 2 years.
Yeah. It took a bit of a break between Prisoner and
There might have been
Chamber,
2004.
right?
No, it's got to be 2003.
I'm
think
pretty sure
Chamber-
they did 2001, 2, 3, and then they did like 2005, 7.
I thought it was 1, 2, 4.
They took a break between 3 and
2 and-
4, and then that's the first time we really see him age a lot. Kind of.
They look
I
so
think
different in Prisoners than in Chamber.
That's
I'm
true.
pretty
So
sure.
different.
I'm pretty sure after Prisoners they went like.
Okay,
every 2
Prisoners was
years.
2004. I lied.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's a
I was
2-year
off.
gap.
Yeah.
So wait, then wasn't Goblet like 2006, and then
Goblet
2009?
was 2005,
That's my boy.
Okay.
and then
My son.
Order of Phoenix was 2007, and then
And then
Apple Prince
2009,
2009.
The best
Yeah.
one.
Emma in chat.
I've been
Did you
summoned.
see the burrows?
I remember calling out Emma one day because like she has a Half-Blood Prince poster hanging on her wall.
Oh, that's
It's
hilarious.
Love it.
yeah. I was like, "Hello," and she was like, "Okay, wait, it was a gift," and like, it looks
You
cool.
like it?
She likes the art. I mean, Rise of Skywalker had some dope posters.
It really did.
Oh, posters.
Remember that
yeah.
first like concept art we saw of like Rey's like footsteps being like through like this little.
What was
forest,
that
like-
about? That was so cool.
That was the coolest shit I've ever
That was
seen.
cool.
Remember
I've
the
seen.
Empire purple cover with Ben and Rey?
Oh man. Oh, them in the desert too. That was really cool. Variety Fair, Vanity Fair. Yeah.
Ben, I stand you.
What did he say? Evan is right.
Kinda.
Amazing.
Yeah, I grew an appreciation for Hallows Part 1
We,
on my
we-
rewatch.
that really grew on all of us, I think.
I will
I
not
think it
stand
did,
for the
yeah.
defamation of Part 2. Like,
It felt
everyone's
very
just-
Five Armies ish, but not as bad as Five Armies.
And it's weird
Not
because
as
I've
Five
always loved part 2, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah,
Emma's like
right?
talking all this. I'm like,
She's kind of right.
dang.
Yeah, but
Do I love
How
this?
are y'all
It's
just like
not
trading,
bad.
like,
It's not
like,
bad.
all right, I'll accept.
No, but it was like it was
so
like
much.
inside of me. It was like inside of me, and like I was like refusing to talk
No,
about it. And then like
I remember because I was watching it. That was the last one I watched right before the podcast came on. I was
Yeah.
like, I gotta hurry up and watch Part 2. I know this is a fun one. It'll be an easy breeze. But I'm watching it, and it goes like too fast of a pace. Like this is just constant.
It is
action.
really
I'm like,
speedy, and I think it's like the second like shortest of the series.
Yeah, it's just it's too short.
you know what? It's worth it alone for the trains, the like scene between Dumbledore and Harry in like the white train station. I love that scene.
Oh, yeah,
And,
where he
like,
says like
talking
my
about-
dad.
Yeah.
Why
That
did they
seems
cut?
really-
Why did they cut Draco running back to Harry and throwing him in the
Redemption.
pond?
But yeah, you guys hear on Twitter, Draco really wants a part or mount. Tom Felton, he was like, I would come back for Draco in a heartbeat.
Oh my god. Speaking of which, Tom Felton just has a TikTok account, and his most recent post is like, "Tell me you're a Harry Potter fan," without telling me
Yeah,
you're
I
a Harry
saw
Potter
that.
fan, and he just like switches the camera, and he's in his Slytherin robes with his little wand that he still
My
has
father
from
will
the
hear
set.
about this.
Yeah, and I'm like, Tom, you've never grown up, and I love it.
Oh wow,
They're
part
great.
1 and
They're,
2.
you know
Wow.
what? They're great. Like in combination, as like
There's not a bad Harry Potter movie.
they set off an era of like unprecedented. Like the only ones that I think arguably earned the part 1 and part 2 has probably still been Harry Potter, the ones that started
Easily.
it.
Twilight was right afterwards. And we're like,
Right.
oof.
Hunger Games,
Hunger
was
Games.
what-
Hunger Games Part 1, she's looking for a cat for like 30 minutes. Stupid.
Nothing happens in that movie.
Bread. I don't know.
Pizza?
Pita bread?
Uh.
Oh shit.
Whatever happened to that guy? What's his name? Josh Hutcherson?
Josh Hutcherson?
He was in that Amazon Prime show with like that Seth Rogen produced.
He was.
Invincible?
He was in.
no.
He
The
was
Boys?
in. He was in the Disaster Artist last I saw. He was playing one of the.
Never saw Disaster Artist.
It's really good. About the making
Pretty
of the
good,
room.
yeah.
Or The Room. I never saw The Room.
Oh my
Never
god,
seen
that's
The
a
Room?
comment. That is a fucking commentary. That's a drunk commentary.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Josh. What's his name again? Josh. Hutch.
Hutcherson.
I'll find him. Anyways, the Bad Batch.
Daniel Radcliffe / Bonnie Writer, Hayden Christensen.
Are you picking ships? What's going on?
In terms of bad chemistry, is that what he's talking about?
I hope not. I like them both.
I think he has to talk about bad chemistry. We're not into Twilight. That's very true, Ben.
You are so right.
He is so right. He is so right.
Dude, that whole fight at the end,
That's
and that
take.
montage of like Harry fighting off Voldemort, and then like him like coming back to the light. I'm like,
oh, so cool.
But in the beginning, I'm like, oh, whatever.
Yeah,
We're getting so off kilter. Like where we are at.
Yeah, we're not into Twilight.
Oh, here's a fun fact. Here's a fun fact. I've never seen a single Twilight movie.
Well, the first one's a good one. I think the first one's a good movie.
Dude, I'm not even gonna lie. I kind of dig Twilight in a sense. I haven't watched it in years, but like when I did,
I like vampires.
What is this baseball scene? I see the baseball scene every other day.
It's fucking iconic, Carson.
And people just like it's like their aesthetic, and I'm like, what is this baseball? And it's like this guy just pitching like with an overextended knee.
They have to play baseball like during thunderstorms because like the crack of the bat's so fucking loud. Like it's so good.
It's Twilight and the 50 Shades. I haven't seen any of those. I don't know. They're just kind of.
I haven't seen 50 Shades either.
I've seen
Dakota Johnson fan.
I saw the first 50 Shades. Didn't hate it.
Commentary.
I think honestly the most stunning thing about watching 50 Shades. I was watching and I was watching like the opening credits and I was like, music by Danny Elfman. What the fuck?
Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman did 50 Shades?
There's only one Batman theme. There's only one. It's mine.
Danny Elfman does a Batman theme.
Isn't Danny Elfman supposed to do Doctor Strange 2 at this point?
Is he?
Maybe.
I think he might.
I thought I heard that.
Yeah, I think I heard that too.
I'm sure Michael will be busy with Spider-Man like too soon in between. So
yeah,
this man does a score every month. I don't know. I feel like.
Anyways, this isn't the Harry Potter podcast.
Hey, if you like different movie conversations, we do a podcast called My Cup of Tea, where we cover everything else that isn't Star Wars, and then
we
also
do.
still
and sometimes Star Wars.
Yeah,
and sometimes dive into Star Wars there as well. Yes.
But if like you were piqued by this Harry Potter stuff, we have a 3.5-hour conversation
about Harry Potter.
Yeah, we should just put that constantly in our description.
I'd like pin it to a card, like
Harry Potter and Last of Us. Just put that in our description. We do
Honestly,
a 3-hour commentary on Last of Us Part 2. Fantastic game.
Pretty sure we're gonna get her to do a 3-hour Ghost of Tsushima review. Like,
we got to. We got
yes.
to. If anybody's played Ghost of Tsushima, fantastic game.
Okay, so to clarify, Josh Hutcherson was in the Amazon series Future Man.
Oh yeah.
Never.
And
heard
there
of
was
that.
3 seasons of it, or I think.
There's already 3. What?
It says that he was in 34 episodes of it.
Okay.
So that I think it's 3 seasons. I don't know.
Does it go in the past?
Sometimes.
I'm guessing.
And then he was also in a series called Ultraman, which looks like has 2 series or 2 seasons.
We could do a big discussion topic on Darth Plagueis. Have any of you guys read the book Darth Plagueis?
Yes, I have it. So
I read some passages.
I love Darth Plagueis. That's one of my favorite books. Who wrote that?
Lucino, the goat.
James Lucino.
I don't know if I want to answer this.
Did he kill Lord Voldemort in Deathly Hallows Part 2? I think he did. It's not really confirmed. They never showed him dying yet.
Neville did. He got the last Horcrux and...
Oh, yeah.
Well,
and he's the real chosen one. The theory's complete.
Listen, if they do, which they will eventually do, once they figure out that the Fantastic Beasts series is just horrible and not viable for the...
But Clones is back!
There will be a Force Awakens of Harry Potter, obviously.
I'm down.
I don't know if I would want... I don't know if I would want, like, the remnants of Voldemort. You know, I feel like that would be a little...
Just Harry Potter world is so fascinating. They can do literally anything.
Yeah.
They should really do, like, if they do that Force Awakens type, they probably shouldn't do Cursed Child, because a lot of people...
Oh, no.
They definitely won't. They definitely won't.
Yeah, no, they won't.
If they're smart, they won't. It's
WB.
You
could, like, cherry pick, like, good things
Some
from it.
things,
like,
I guess, but...
Yeah.
Anywho,
like, them having children, which was at the end of Deathly Hallows anyway, like, yeah.
Right.
But
yeah, of course.
Otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I would love to see the big trio play like that Luke, Leia, Han role of passing the torch.
Kill off Ron in the first movie.
Like,
No.
it does. You don't have to kill him, but like, you know.
Harry's like, I'm only doing it if you kill me off in the first movie.
Can you imagine like a scene between like Harry and his son, like talking about like I don't know, just literally anything? I'd be like, I love it. I
I
love
want
it.
them to hang out and drink some pumpkin juice and like a nice cozy little cabin or something like. In the
Or they
Wizarding
should just
World.
make the Harry Potter TV show on the HBO Max. That's just
There-
money
There
waiting
is so
to
much
happen.
in the universe, and it's like they've kept it so small in terms
Like
of where
you
they.
don't even have to bring in. I guess you have to bring in the woman who should not be named, but because that's the creator. But I'm just
Yeah.
like, you can have any original story set in any
Close.
time period. Remember, we talked about it. We talked about like the origin of the houses, that kind of war, kind of like what they're doing with Lord of the Rings, like the origin of how the ring was created and Sauron when he's actually a human, that kind of thing. Like they can dive into that, but they're not going to.
And
Star
there's
Wars
so much
did,
outside of Hogwarts too. Like
Star Wars is doing High Republic. They can do the same thing for Harry Potter. Go in the past.
Like imagine if you go way in the past and there is no school. Like I want to see like how magic, not like how it was discovered, quote unquote, but like how do you just like cope with that and all of a sudden like there is no network of wizards like to start. Like how does that even work? Like you know what I mean? Like how do you even
awesome.
are you like you're doing magic? Like like it'd be very interesting. It'd be kind of X-Men-ish, I guess, of like this discovery of like a different thing. But
Hell no.
do you live your life as a Jedi?
No, people always ask me like, what would be your occupation if you lived in Star Wars universe, like an RPG? I would not want to be a Jedi. I would easily want to be somebody like kind of the boring answer, but like a Cad Bane or a Fennec, like a bounty hunter kind of role.
A
There.
murderer?
Yeah.
Cool, got it.
Cool.
Yes.
living paycheck to paycheck. Okay.
Living paycheck to paycheck, going anywhere the fuck I want.
I don't think you have they probably don't have a home. You just live in a ship.
Granted, actually, the High Republic created this cool job thing for the Jedi called no spoilers. It's not really a
Wayseeker.
spoiler. Wayseeker. Carson, stop reading my mind. I don't like it. But
What? Wayfinder? Hello?
there's a job for the Jedi in the High Republic called a Wayseeker, and they're able to just you're still part of the Jedi Council. They don't shun you at all, but you're just like
You just vibe. You vibe
just
with your
vibe.
instincts.
I'm
You're like,
gonna
I'm
do
gonna go
my
discover
job.
shit.
Like
And
a
you can,
Qui-Gon vibe?
yeah.
yeah.
It's like,
Like,
you go find your little research project, and we'll sit and do our little diplomatic stuff, and you can go like discover stuff with your intuitions.
Can I have a family?
I mean,
Probably not. Probably not. But yeah, you can just go out there in the galaxy and explore
Yeah.
the frontier, for example. And then if the Jedi Council call you, you can come back in.
Report
the
back,
Council
yeah.
will always ask for your help. It's not like for Ahsoka where they just like cut you off. So it's a very cool
Orla
show.
is such a cool character.
Love her. Love her. We'll talk about it more when Carson
Pod
finishes the damn book.
racing commentator, that would be amazing.
Oh, pod racing commentator?
It's Skywalker!
Skywalker! It's
Oh,
Anakin
there goes
Skywalker.
Quadranero!
I was trying to say it, but I forgot the quote. Yeah. Quadranero.
There goes Kitster.
Little Skywalker stock!
Nathan, your impression is really
You're
good.
so good at that, yeah.
Oh, God.
Phantom Menace is a blast, dude. I love Phantom Menace.
We gotta do these commentaries soon, dude.
Oh, sound effects are so sick. I love it. It's so sick.
ILM snapped way too
Movies
hard
don't
on
do that many racing movies these
They-
days. The racing scenes. I love
Everyone
them.
had the gall to say the power race too long.
Ford v Ferrari wishes it was Phantom
Yeah,
Menace.
exactly, right? They need to call
Ford v
those
Ferrari is
movies.
great, honestly.
Yeah.
I
here
could
for
watch Christian
Space
Bale
Ben-Hur.
and Damon do anything all day.
Christian Bale and Matt Damon pod racing.
Pod racing? Oh, I love
Hell
it.
yes. Pod racing spinoff. That's Tiger's next movie.
Now they're getting Christian Bale in Marvel. I would love to see him in Star Wars.
Gore the
as,
guy
like,
butcher.
as an alien character or anything.
Wait,
really.
Christian Bale and Matt Damon are both in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Wow, you're right.
Yeah.
Huh. Tiger's gonna do a little remake of Ford v
Ford v
in the
Ferrari.
universe.
Maybe Taika puts him in his Star Wars. I don't know.
Maybe Tiger also brings in.
They cross it
John
over
Bernthal.
with Chris Hemsworth's Rush. They cross it over.
Oh my god.
I gotta watch Rush. It's on Netflix.
It's a Ron Howard movie,
I
I believe.
haven't seen it, but everyone really likes it.
It keeps popping up in my. Please watch this on Netflix.
Isn't Daniel Bruhl's in that too? I think.
Yes, he is. He's the villain.
Yes, he is.
The villain.
Playing another German. What a surprise. He's German.
Directed by Ron. Oh my god, his hair in this is hilarious too.
I know,
He's
right?
got long hair.
Who, Chris Hemsworth?
No, Brule.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth. Oh, Chris Hemsworth has longer hair too, a little bit.
He's
Yeah.
got the Thor hair.
Daniel Brule has got like that long curly hair instead of the...
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. Olivia Wilde's in it too? God.
Love me some Olivia Wilde.
I did not know John Cena's character name, but yeah, he is Dom's brother in F9.
It's Jacob Toretto is Dom's brother.
You didn't
in
know that?
F9.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't looking at the comments.
No, I mean
You
I
know
knew
that?
that. I didn't know I didn't know John Cena's name in the movie.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I guess his
I
name
just-
is Jacob. I think that was
I guess-
revealed like in one of those things where they like talk about their characters.
Yeah, Charlize Theron talks about it. I think there's a line in the trailer.
Yeah.
We'll get. Honestly, I'm not going to dive into like fast unless I'm like on the movie in the moment.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've seen some promo material. I've seen John Cena apologize to China.
Yeah, which is a whole other thing. Which is
Awkward.
I don't know how to dive into that. Is it a country?
Ridiculous.
I don't.
He has to. He has to do what he got to do. He's an actor. He's
They're
not
gonna
a
secure that
fucking
box
politician.
office.
To be clear, Taiwan
Yeah.
is a country. Let's just make that clear for the record.
I was googling. I was like,
I had to talk about that during history class. We were talking about the Chinese Communist Revolution
Right.
and when the people fled, the nationalists fled to Taiwan. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's where it started.
19.
we have not talked about Star Wars in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, Star Wars. I think the other part of this.
Screw it. Welcome to Hyperspace. Pulled out. Of,
Karl Marx chat! Boys!
a special pulled out of Hyperspace episode.
Oh,
We've been
no.
anchored.
Oh no. So quick thing before we talk about the J.J. Abrams thing. John Boyega was open. Quick quote. He just said like he was being interviewed. He's open to returning as Finn as long as J.J. or Kathleen Kennedy are on board. And I just gotta say, people were hating on him for saying that. They're like, he likes J.J. and Kathleen. I'm like, guys, J.J. gave him the role of a lifetime.
Force Awakens. They were.
Right.
They were the kickoff.
It's because
Like,
people hate J.J. They're
What are you
like,
gonna say?
how does he like J.J.?
This man is nothing to me. Like,
Exactly.
Like,
what?
I don't know.
It was so
Yes, he had to
weird.
tap the block, but otherwise, like on the map, it was Force Awakens.
It was J.J. Abrams. Like people before Episode 9 ever came out, people, myself included, praising J.J. for his casting. He casts, and his team, of course, they cast spectacularly. Like Star Trek, perfect casting. Force Awakens, perfect casting. I think it makes a lot of sense for John to still be friends with J.J. He likes being in Fast 9, or he likes being in Rise of Skywalker. He liked Rise of Skywalker more than Last Jedi. Like, people give John so much shit for some of the weirdest things. I'm like, guys,
Let this
we
man
always let this man live. First of all, we always talk about like not hating on people's Star Wars opinions unless they're being ridiculous.
Yeah.
In this one, he's friends with JJ. I was shocked. I shouldn't be shocked, but I was shocked to see how much hate he was getting, like in the quote tweets or in the comments. They're like, why does he like JJ and Kathleen Kennedy? They should just retire Star Wars. I'm like, what? Like, even if you don't like 9, I don't like 9, but I still like JJ. I think he's a cool guy. I still like most of his movies. I like Kathleen Kennedy a lot too. They made a mistake with 9. I think so, but a lot of people like 9. It's just like, just because you don't like a movie doesn't mean you have to hate the person working on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Agreed.
Unless they're like extra circumstances.
Yeah. And like, if JJ was involved, it would probably just be like a producing credit.
He
Or
was
something.
probably executive producer.
Exactly. You
Greatest.
know this motherfucker's not coming back to direct another Star Wars movie. He's not.
Yeah, no
He's
way.
tired.
Nor would he want to. Yeah. I think there's the same interview, and he was saying like I like doing, at least for JJ's interview, he was saying I like doing original stuff. He wants to do more original stuff. He has a couple of HBO Max original projects in the books, but he's also doing a lot of HBO Max Batman stuff too. So
Superman.
JJ's doing a lot of things. But yeah, I just wanted to share that because people were hating on John for no reason.
Yeah. and
Anyway, I would like my Finn Disney Plus series. Let's go.
Give me Finn and Rose TV series, please.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
I would take it. Take
Get
it.
this
Yeah.
man a lightsaber.
And you just wonder what is actually, all this talk of like, oh, would you return? But like, You would think they're going to revisit the era eventually.
I wanted to ask you guys about that because we didn't talk about it because it came out earlier this year. But Daisy Ridley, I forget what she was hyping up, but she did an interview where she also said that she would be on board for coming back as well. I didn't be included a couple months ago, a couple weeks back, but I'm like, yeah, I could easily see Daisy, John, maybe Oscar coming back.
Oscar's still in the Disney family. He's on Moon Knight right now.
Yeah,
the paycheck is right.
Yeah, didn't he say like if I want to buy another house?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's funny like whenever like I don't know why in the press junket they were like, "Would you return?" Like, no, they're tired. Why would you ask this right now? It's like if you just did like your full like 5-day celebration that we went through, and it was like, "You want to keep going?" Like in a couple weeks, and they're like, "I want to go to my hotel."
Yeah,
it's so
acting
weird.
is like that. Acting is like that. 12-hour plus days for at least 6 months for a Star Wars movie.
God.
Yeah, like can I get home? Like, can I see my family first? Like,
yeah, it was the same thing they did with James Bond, where Daniel Craig said like, "I want to slit my wrist." Yeah, he's saying that because you're asking him after filming
after.
3 movies back to back. Like he's tired.
But
of course, he came back. Yeah, we know we know he likes the role, but it's like people over exaggerated that quote. But my guys, you guys are asking him during the press run where he's just tired. He finished filming a movie. Now he's just sitting in front of a camera for a couple of weeks and answered the same questions over and over. So give people some slack. We should do a whole podcast on weird questions they asked Star Wars during the press because it was a shit show during the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, so
First question: what can you tell me about this movie? No.
Stupid. What's the difference between Ryan and JJ?
I
Fuck off.
nails on a chalkboard.
They're 2 different people, motherfucker. God.
You're telling me 2 filmmakers have a different take on different things?
What?
No way.
There's gotta be like some studio meddling on Tross or something.
What do they want them to say? J.J. Abrams is a better director. Is that what you want for your headline?
Yeah,
like,
what do you want to say?
Oh, I finally felt like I was at peace when we got to 9. Like, get out of here.
Oh, jeez.
You want them to say that? Get out of here.
Remember, people on YouTube are itching for a quote saying
I was
that.
revived by J.J. Like,
It's like yeah, like people would come for John, or it's like, yeah, I wasn't big on Last Jedi. It's like, okay, neither was Mark Hamill, but like also at the same time, people will check in on Ryan, and he's like peaceful. Like he's not.
I'm cool
like,
with it. Yeah.
He's not like, how dare you?
People are like, John's an idiot for not liking The Last Jedi. You here's a 20-page paper why Finn's awesome in The Last Jedi, which is cool. You like that, but 2 different experiences. We're watching a movie. John was involved with the movie. Regardless, we loved it.
John
it
also going
matter.
through like so much shit on
so much shit. Yeah. God damn.
Always tired. Like
yeah, he's filming like 3 movies right now. Or he just
He had to do Pacific Rim Uprising. I mean, come on, anybody involved
he
in
was
that
talking
movie.
about Pacific Rim.
I understand.
When I was at he was talking about Pacific Rim when I was at the Last Jedi panel.
Yeah,
like,
that's not
Oh man.
crowd was hyped.
throwback.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
in what capacity would you guys like to see Finn return?
Oh, good question.
You go first, Carson.
I like the TV series idea. Of course, I'm down for anything animation. I always love good animation. I think I want to
Patty's
explore
movie.
that. No.
Cameo.
But I don't know. I think the only answer is post Tross. It just has to be.
Yeah.
I still think they gotta figure out. They gotta figure out what the threats necessarily are.
That reminds me, I forgot to ask you guys. Because I don't know if I included it in the show notes, but Patty Jenkins got like a production designer for Rogue Squadron.
Yes. Yeah.
And I forgot to ask, what are our thoughts now on when that era is coming out? Is that post Tross?
I think they said it was.
What do we still think? Because they said like this is after. I don't think they specifically said it was Tross.
Let's look.
Didn't they say
Or-
post First Order or something? I don't know.
I think
'Cause
I think it is.
Because I thought it was too, but I'm like, what conflict are we having post First Order?
Whatever you want, I guess.
It just seems so boring. Like I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I'm like, without Ben Solo, I really couldn't care less what Finn, Rey, and Poe get into. What's your big threat? I have no idea. It just seems like a boring timeline for me.
Well, I think it just makes it more like an open,
Right.
available.
And I'd rather have good writers come in and make something up than force.
I would
something,
love
you
to
know?
be surprised. I would love to be surprised.
Yeah.
I just can't think of anything. And for Rogue Squadron, something coming out so soon, like you're already going to dive into post-Tross, which is
Don't
supposed to
worry,
be the end
Evan.
of all evil.
Don't worry, Evan. We're gonna go right in between 3 and 4, and we're gonna tell a compelling story.
The exact line is
Okay.
the story will introduce a new generation of starfighter pilots as they earn their wings and risk their lives in boundary-pushing high-speed thrill rides and move the saga into a future era of the galaxy.
Give me Top Gun. Give me Top Gun Star Wars.
Which I'm all hyped for the concept of this movie, but in terms of the antagonist, I'm just like, what kind of threat are you posing to a? Because when we say Rogue Squadron, we're assuming a
Ben.
couple humble.
And you're getting real dangerous here.
Ben has left the chat. Everybody, Ben has left the chat.
First
But yeah,
Dunkirk, now
'cause
this.
I know. First Dunkirk and now
No.
this. Come on, Ben. No. But yeah, I was talking to somebody at work about this because I'm like, 9 was all about defeating Palpatine's literally all the Sith. So this isn't anything Force related, but we need a villain that's capable of summoning a huge armada to go against a rogue squadron.
Ron?
Nathan has left the chat.
I left the.
I don't know. I feel like
I'm just like, what do you do? What do you do, Patty? Please surprise me. But I'm like,
yeah.
9 is such a good. 9 is a conclusion, not good or
Yeah.
bad. It's a conclusion.
Maybe it doesn't
it
have
just
to be.
seems so weird to go past 9 already.
Maybe it
I
doesn't
feel
have
like
to be
radio
like
do shit.
systematic. It doesn't have to be systematic, really. It
Post-war
could be
cleanup.
something.
I don't know.
I just feel like this could be an easy place after episode 6. Like there's a 30-year time gap. Rogue Squadron, that'd be
Right.
fun.
Yeah. Anyways, but
Ben's
you
back in
know,
good graces.
I kind of like it being unknown right now.
Yes, we do.
I like
We
it.
love
I,
Calcastus.
I like that I'm kind of grasping for straws on like, oh, what could possibly make sense?
Yeah.
Because it makes me want to think about the issue so much more of like what would actually make sense to like happen in this, because obviously
It has to be something where Rey can't get involved. Because if there's a big, huge galaxy-wide threat and we're having a Rogue Squadron handle it,
yeah,
our protagonists handle it, who don't have any Force powers, then why would your leading Jedi not be involved?
yeah, it makes
at
me think
most
of
I-
like
At most, I see Poe, if any of them, coming back.
Right.
Yeah.
Conic, maybe. I don't know.
Because otherwise, there's just episode 10.
Which,
Um,
I mean, I want to like keep talking about this, but then I also
Yeah,
want to
sure.
highlight this, like when we can talk about that in a second.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
But yeah, it's very interesting because the main thing is like you don't want to overwrite it, so then it becomes like it's like echoes across everything, and then it's like, oh well, this person needs to come here now, and you don't want to underwrite it in the sense that it's okay. I don't even understand why it's called Squadron. You know what I mean? Like it's figuring out what that means, and it makes me think of like, I don't know, like tyranny in different places necessarily, of like not like, you know, maybe it's some like rich landlord person with all this stuff trying to like do something, or it's more like small scale in the sense that like it's someone with resources, not necessarily that's grown into some system of the Empire or some First Order or something like that was like threatens to build into that, but also like more constructive where you have a lot of freedom to be like, okay, it doesn't have to loop into any of these things. It doesn't have to come off the like constructed power of the Empire or the First Order. We can kind of build a new scenario in which is a threat. So I think that's exciting to me. I just don't know what that gap is.
Kind of like in Legends, like people, when Thrawn first got introduced, that was crazy. But yeah. Going to the comment here.
I'm okay. So I mean, yeah, I'm down for a new, fresh tale. I would like a fresher voice than Favreau. I love Favreau. I think he does good stuff. But
I heard he did Iron Man, right?
Back on Iron Man 2008 when we were developing Iron
I like the comment, Ben, but I also Favreau's doing a lot. Stick with the Mando. I'm not the biggest Mando fan, but stick to what you know. He knows Mando. He knows that timeline.
I would love him to direct something. I would love.
I wouldn't. For Star Wars?
I thought
Direct-
For Star Wars?
I will
He's already doing the TV shows.
Yeah,
Don't
but
give
I'll
him a
say
movie.
in terms
if he did
of
anything,
directing, in terms of
Okay.
directing, my favorite thing what from season
Is that
2
pilot
was
season
the
2?
pilot, yeah, the finale that he directed.
But he's doing so much. Like, we're having him
Yeah, I
direct
know
a
he's
movie.
busy. I'm not saying I'm just saying like if he did,
Not even that he's busy. I'm just like
I'm just
he'd
saying
be the last
hypothetically.
person in my option.
I'm just saying if he did, like I wouldn't be mad because
I would.
Well, no,
If it came out yesterday, hey, the 2025 movie is gonna be directed by Jon Favreau. I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
I mean, I guess I am too.
Well,
I'm
okay,
like,
directed
he's
or
doing
written
so
by?
much. Can you guys
Directed or written by?
look out beyond your small focus?
Yeah. I mean, I was also about to say like once upon a time, I would have said like, hell yeah, give a movie to Filoni. But now I'm like, no, stick with the animation, kid.
Right.
He can't do a movie.
Give him an animated movie, maybe, but
Maybe.
Oh, Ben, I love your wishful thinking. Nolan would never.
Yeah, people love bringing up Nolan and Denis, the sci-fi kings.
Yeah. Okay, but real talk though, I want to see.
Thank you so much, Jedi Master PZJ. You rock.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. Leave a like.
Like,
yeah, like, subscribe, ring the bell. It really helps us out.
What was my choices? Oh, I want Rick Famuyiwa.
Yes.
I still want Ava DuVernay to do something if she's not doing New Gods. I think that'd be an interesting choice.
Yes.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah, cool. I definitely would say that.
Bryce and Ron team up.
I'm trying to think of like one more that we haven't said before.
One that we continue to say, but people probably new to the podcast. Frozen 2, Carson.
Yes, give Jennifer Lee a
feature
animated film. Give her like $90 million, under $100 million budget. Keep cap.
Alfonso Cuarón's Star Wars.
He would never.
Why?
He would never.
He did Harry Potter.
Star Wars is Roma.
Yeah, because Guillermo like went to his house and like yelled at him.
Guillermo del Toro's Star Wars.
Oh,
Cuarón's
if they would leave him alone, if they would let him develop the thing and like.
Oh my God, his Star Wars creatures. I need that in my life. I want to see what that is.
Jeez. Gosh,
people would complain like, "You haven't shown any OT alien creatures."
Evan, would you watch David Fincher's Star Wars?
I mean, in a second,
I would. What you would do with
die
it.
for David Fincher.
Would you like a seedy underbelly Coruscant crime thriller from David Fincher?
If they announced a crime thriller TV series set in the Star Wars universe, directed by David Fincher, I just
Look,
that would be a lot.
Also, this stage in life, what I would say, if you were to give something Star Wars to Spielberg, I would only make it an episode at this point of something.
Yeah.
Love the guy. I just feel like it's been so long.
Yeah, to give somebody, let's kind of, because going on with the whole give somebody a trilogy comment, let's kind of dive into the whole plan thing.
Let's focus on like a trilogy for.
Yeah. Let's dive into the whole plan discussion.
Right.
Yeah. So what was it?
JJ was doing an interview with Frosty from Collider, talking about his upcoming projects. JJ has a lot of interest. It's a good interview because JJ has a lot of interesting projects coming up. But anyways, I know he's like WB, Paramount. He's doing so much shit.
No, I meant Frosty.
Oh.
Anthony Mackie's in the comments.
Anthony Mackie, who I'm still blocked by on Twitter.
I still don't know why. We need to know the story.
I forget too, guys. I need to go back in time. I'm like, one day I just woke up and I pissed off Anthony. I don't know what I did.
Goddamn Captain America.
You were on like caps and lowercase. Cut the check.
Wow, another Marvel movie, Anthony. What, he's been in 5 at this point?
Evan's literally like the biggest Civil War stan. It's not fair.
It was like 2014.
Evan teaching in his history class. This is the day. whatever. 2015. Anthony Mackie, you're Captain America. Blocked me on Twitter. That's a little about me.
I got blocked by him and Rob Liefeld like in quick succession.
Well, one of them I can understand.
Yeah, Rob. You know what? Yeah, but I don't know what I did to Anthony. I really don't know. I totally forget. It had to be some little quick jab I did. I had quite the mouth back when I got my Twitter. I was on fire. Anyways, JJ's doing this interview. I guess I should pull up the quote. Somebody vamp for me in a second here. I mean, it's not too big. I think JJ was just saying that, like, in hindsight, it would have been better to have a plan for this trilogy. Let's see here. Is there a quote? Oh, this is a quote from the author. Oh, here we go. I've been involved in a number of projects. Yeah, the lesson is that you have to plan things as best as you can. You always need to be able to respond to the unexpected. Yeah, anyway, I can't find the fucking full quote. It's a long quote. But in general, I think he was just talking about saying, like, I should have planned. There should have been a plan. He was kind of on team. Sequel trilogy need to be planned. Kind of feel to it.
Well,
let's give our.
Okay.
This is a new thought for us. We've been saying this same argument since 2017.
But, I mean, if like, would a plan have benefited? Yes, but the fact that there apparently wasn't clearly did not hinder Ryan. You knocked it out of the park in progression. I think.
Clearly did not hinder George Lucas, who notoriously was making stuff up on the original trilogy.
Han and Leia kissed in Empire.
Right.
Like, that was the middle. That was over halfway.
And arguably, his not over planning on the prequels, but kind of inclination to make it this certain fit to make it all rhyme, as he likes to say, to do all these different things. It did hinder his writing. It did hinder his writing to try to make it this overarching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
putting Yoda meeting up with what's it called, Chewie and Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
There was a lot of like weird connection that just didn't need to be there.
It's like haha, isn't this fun? Like
Anakin creating C-3PO. I mean, there's tons of little things where I'm just like, did that really have to happen?
George,
that was also at a point in time where like that's all that was really gonna be at that point. Like after 3, like I have a Revenge of the Sith DVD from 2005, and the back says the saga's complete. Like, no longer true, but
I kind of pushed back a tiny bit in terms of the original trilogy. Granted, he was trying to, he was doing it as it goes along because of the Han and Leia kissing. But even then, even though Irvin Kershner did 5 and Richard Marquand did 6. Those were still, when people think of the original trilogy, they say George's movies. Like those are George's movies because
he wrote the entire. I mean, it was a rough outline, but he did write the whole trilogy and only made like a third of it on his own.
Exactly. I mean, it's his vision. He was there up close and personal with Irvin, up close and personal with Richard, more so than Irvin. Like Richard, I mean, Return of the Jedi is very much George's baby.
Oh yeah.
You can just easily kind of tell in comparison to Empire, and even then.
Let me address this. Well, I think more so with Rise of Skywalker. I feel like, and maybe Force Awakens, but that was like a different.
Force Awakens, even I like Force Awakens, but I gave JJ a lot of shit for that too in terms of the.
But I feel like,
but
I give it a pass because like at the time when like the world was like.
Yeah, exactly.
We hate prequels, and now they don't.
Right.
But like, and it was like just getting like refreshed. Like, remember why you love Star Wars? Like, cool.
And I think
we got,
I gave him
really
a pass
fresh.
for that.
The key thing I think is Kasdan in the writer's chair on Force Awakens, which really helps it give some nuance to like not repeating itself. Specifically with with the Ben and Han and Leia stuff and
Force Awakens
Luke's disappearance and all the characterization. It doesn't. It feels familiar, but we're totally getting this new vibe with the characters, and so it contradicts itself a little bit like that.
One of the worst takes from Force Awakens, which still bleeds into modern day, is that it's a carbon copy of A New Hope. That's one of the famous like YouTube comments that people would love to say. I'm like, no,
the 2 Death Stars, like
Ben's like granted, like in a surface level, you can kind of make similarities there, but if you dig deep, not even too deep, you look at Finn's character, unique. Kylo Ren's whole arc in that movie, unique. Rey, unique. These are all characters. All their new characters in that movie are unique and are not seen in other Star Wars material.
I would say, while the through line is A New Hope, there's like still like so much of like
So much depth.
introduction of like interesting stuff, and like again, that's I think where JJ shines with his mystery box stuff is like the good. He's great with setups, and Ryan took it and ran with it in the way he thought would be like the best progression. I think all
We agree.
we agree with what he did. Like it was like,
Yeah.
and you watch all the BTS of like Last Jedi, and you see how he's like, I'm not here with a sandbox and toys. I'm here with like logically where would they be in this mindset, and it's very fascinating.
And some people say Ryan didn't do enough of nostalgia. Remember, like the whole Canto Bight debacle, they were like, "There's no original trilogy aliens in this sequence," and people love like their original trilogy aliens, or Han didn't get enough love, or Admiral Akbar didn't do this. Like they wanted that kind of nostalgia pool.
I am still forever pissed.
Yeah.
I was watching one review by Angry Joe, and he was like, for some reason, like they thought Leia died within like the explosion real quick, and they were like, "Oh, that's war." But then in the same review, they were like, "How the fuck did you blow up Admiral Akbar?" Like, make that make sense.
Yeah,
It's
and see,
weird.
that's more like discourse stuff where I think it was the perfect storm of the mystery box thing, the expectations of this new trilogy trying to deliver on a lot of answers versus people being, I guess, open to understanding, like kind of what Ben just said of like, oh my god, Luke is like grumpy now, like what's happened? It's like it's been 30 years, like he's gonna have some conflict. Like that's what makes movies interesting, is people struggling to figure out who they are and how to contribute to things. And so I think
I agree. And it's funny because people use the excuse that they didn't plan as an excuse, as a way to say like because they didn't have a plan, that justifies why the decisions that I don't like are the way they are. Like for example, like the whole Luke thing, because they didn't have a plan. That's why Ryan ruined Luke. JJ wouldn't have done that. That kind of thing. And they use that the sequel trilogy not having a plan as a way to justify their anger towards these movies, which I just don't agree with. I'm like,
you can't have it both ways.
You can't have it both ways. Like you're allowed to not like these movies, but it's not because they didn't have a plan. I think like the plan doesn't hinder the story in a way, because like I don't blame Rise of Skywalker on, well, they didn't have a plan, that's why I hate Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
No, I just blame you have to blame the director, the writers. I have
How
to
they
blame
responded
JJ.
to the last
I have
movie.
to blame Colin, because
That's all it is.
in my opinion,
Colin?
a plan, like we said from the beginning, would have been nice, would have been cool. That's what they do for a lot of TV shows. That's what they do for a lot of movies nowadays.
But it's not always working, and some of the
yeah.
best art comes out of necessity to adapt.
Exactly. And even if you do have a plan, it doesn't mean you agree with the
It's gonna change.
it's going to change.
I have literally, like in my perspective, like I'm trying to make this series, which is now in animation right now.
Yep.
I've been writing this shit since I was in middle school. I kid you not. And it has gone through so many changes, but I still have I now have a set through line of like the seasons. Like I know like how things are gonna progress, and if I didn't, that would be pretty detrimental. But also I could figure it out. It's weird.
And even if there is a plan, it doesn't mean you like the film. Like I can name countless movies, trilogies, whatever that have plans. Hell, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is built on plans.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean everybody likes every single Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. Just because there's a plan doesn't mean the movies are going to be good. Like it doesn't mean a plan is synonymous with a good material.
Right.
It's just not what it is.
In a sense, any screenplay is a plan, but that doesn't mean that like the reasons for you disagreeing or agreeing with that screenplay is dependent on the plan. It's dependent on what they actually wrote.
Exactly.
And so you have to gauge on what you respond to somebody's art. It's not necessarily the process, with just bearing that process out of the final product. It doesn't make any sense to adapt to art like that.
It makes me wonder, like, where's the specific timeline of everything for each project? Because, like, I think, like, Ryan's, like, calling up Frank Oz to reprise Yoda for Last Jedi in, like, 2014.
2014.
Before Force Awakens even is out. But then, like, we get to Rise of Skywalker and it feels like something's just not as fluent, and it's weird.
I mean, yeah, even JJ said, they didn't give me enough time. Like, even we said it. We're like, does this need to come out in December 2019 when you already have
Yeah.
7 confirmed billion-dollar grosses?
And how long before then did Colin leave? Like, was it within a year?
Remember, Colin was supposed to be May 2019. We're like, you're not giving these people enough time.
I think, wasn't at max they pushed it to December, but it was still same year.
It was still the same year. I'm like,
Right.
what is behooving you to release this in December 2020?
JJ got announced in
Well, I guess like
September
2018.
2017. It was the same year as Last Jedi.
Yeah, September
imagine-
2017. Yes.
Can you imagine if they did push it to 2020 and like things still went as they did? Like, would we
They easily
not be there yet? Like,
They easily could have gone the same way, but I just feel like with more time, a lot of the
I meant
small...
I meant
What?
same way of like movies in 2020, how everything got.
Oh yeah, you're
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
We may have
That's
not even
kinda
seen
weird.
the Rise of Skywalker yet, if that was the case.
Wow, great point. But
Let's
I
come
think
up in May. Here we go.
even giving him a lot of time, a lot of the stuff that you don't really normally see that from JJ and Rise could have been solved. Like there's a lot of just small directorial errors in Rise of Skywalker that just doesn't seem like JJ to me. But anyways, yeah, just having a plan in general, it never came up to me because even people who didn't like The Last Jedi were automatically saying, well, if they had a plan, I would have liked The Last Jedi better. But no, Ryan followed up JJ's idea the way he thought the way he thought it was supposed to go. Doesn't mean you have to like the movie. Obviously, a lot of people didn't. A lot of people did. But for JJ, his job was to follow up what Ryan did, pass the baton. And if JJ would have followed up Ryan in a successful manner, again, ending a trilogy is never an easy thing. A lot of people still wouldn't have liked 9. A lot of people still would have liked 9 either way. So it will be a mixed bag probably either way. But
Yeah.
it's kind of obvious, even for people who don't like The Last Jedi, that JJ kind of disregarded things that didn't that Last Jedi planned, like the whole Luke thing or Ben's arc with Luke, Rey's parentage first and foremost. Like, it's crazy to me that JJ and Colin talk all about discussing Rey's heritage during the makeup of the film. Like they had a whiteboard and they were discussing what they can do with Rey's arc in this movie. I'm like, throw away the whiteboard. Last Jedi is your whiteboard. Like there's nothing to discuss here. Like
Yeah.
they had countless interviews and God bless them. Like they really went deep into this movie. You know, what's his name? The writer was talking about like digging out this mythology for Rise of Skywalker, just diving headfirst into all this like Campbell stuff. I'm like, just look at The Last Jedi.
Respond to the two films that are out there.
Yeah,
Don't-
JJ, respond to your own film. What are you doing? Like,
And it's so interesting too of like, you know, going in, I'm like, movie about Rey struggling to be a leader, Rey struggling to be a leader for the Resistance, Rey struggling with having to be, you know, the Last Jedi in a sense, Rey having to be all these things for so many different people when she's been whisked into this life, because now we finally got this time gap of where she has at least 0.2 seconds to reflect on anything that's just happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for the first time, she's waiting again in a sense for this next move of like how, you know, I have the weight of the galaxy on my shoulders. I don't know if I'm ready. I thought it was all going to be about that. And like, we didn't really get any of that because it was still on the lineage and this expectation of these power sets and these different things and this
The
mystery
trio's
of
together now, and they keep fighting.
they fight for no reason. Like they bicker is really weird.
And then we got the hug at the end, and it's like,
It feels empty. But yeah, like even Ben's Redemption, which even people who love The Last Jedi, we saw this coming. But even then, because the movie is kind of all over the place, in my opinion, that didn't get the time it needed. It just felt really weird. I'm just like,
I also give like
a lot of things. Yeah,
I'll give like a credit to progression that like some viewers will like blindly look at, like TLJ haters will blindly look at. It'll be like you'll see like Luke like catch the lightsaber like as a ghost, and then you know be more like Jedi, yeah, and they'll be like, "There's my Luke," and like see Ryan, but then like they forget Ryan progressed him there by the end of the movie.
right.
yeah, they forget the whole third act.
Of course he's more optimistic in death, you know. After, so it's just this whole deal, and
But also, do I need him like lifting like Yoda's theme to X-Wing?
no,
probably not.
I mean, like, yeah, it's a cool like nostalgic thing, but it's like, you're not the main character anymore.
I remember that.
right. And to me, it's so stilted because Luke's sacrifice isn't mentioned at all throughout. And
Not
to me,
a
that's the biggest inspiration that Rey could have in
That
terms
the
of
galaxy
moving
could
forward,
have.
that the galaxy could have in general.
Yeah.
They're still looking for people?
And so,
what?
Yeah, they're still looking for people. Lando has to round them off screen.
Why?
in that, like, it's just very weird. It's like that stuff has to just not be answered, and we just got to come up with a new reason to get people.
It's forever weird to like think that nobody's responding to Luke, but then the Last Jedi, it's already like that confrontation with the First Order is already like a legend speak with the kids, and it's like,
yeah, and that would have been so inspirational in terms of like hope overriding anything, and even hope for someone that didn't have hope in themselves or anybody finally overriding in himself, because that's the hero he is, and it just made so much sense. And it made so much sense for all that to bleed out into a scene between Ben and Luke, which I still don't know. How do you not have a scene between Ben and Luke? It's literally set up, first of all.
Luke,
So
I'll see you next time or something.
I would have at least taken the Ben and Chewie scene from the novelization.
Anything.
Like,
that would have
It's so
aided his
weird.
redemption so much better than,
And
obviously.
even as a
amazing
director, if you want to like cut for time, like directors always trying to edit the best they can. The ability to use stuff that's already based on the last movie is an easy slam dunk. You should be like, okay, cool. We don't need to tell the audience this. We don't need a whole 5-minute scene talking to Lando about people not being like hyped up. Oh, we can just say like, oh, this happened in the last movie. We don't need this whole scene in Pisano with them finding Lando. It's really weird.
And I'll never understand how, like, I mean, I understand, like, things change with, like, Carrie's passing, but, like, I don't know why you, especially, like, I know, like, in some grand scheme, in one report, there was, like, this was supposed to be Leia's specific movie, as, like, Han was Force Awakens, Luke Last Jedi. But then it's, like, I know, like, you're, like, struggling to use deleted footage, but, like, you don't have to kill her off. That doesn't mean you have to kill off a character.
Or does it mean you have to keep one of the main characters because of Leia's wishes? You don't have to keep Rose.
I'm about to say,
Like, doesn't make any sense. You're the writer. You don't have to do that. Like,
they were so stupid.
But regardless, it's not because of the plan. It's because of what they wrote, and that's
that's the main topic here. Yeah, it's like,
but then
people kept replying and quoting, saying like, "You think JJ you needed a plan? This is Star Wars. Star Wars always needs a plan." I'm like, no, it doesn't. Not all movies, especially not Star Wars, needs a plan.
And in terms of like having a plan, like with what happened, it's weird, and not to be like the people who are also like praising like it's all about the original trio, but like it is so odd that like all of the original trio died for Ben, and then Ben himself still ends up dying. Why?
I'll never get over the quote where Leia's like, I gave up being a Jedi because Luke had a vision, or I had a vision.
What was that about?
I had a vision that Ben would die at the end of my journey.
And he still fucking
I remember being in the theater. I was excited. I'm like, I don't like this whole Luke and Leia scene. It's really weird. But if Leia had this vision, then Ben's automatically going to live, right? I was so hyped because I'm like, oh, Ben's confirmed alive now.
Yeah,
they kill him off.
That dumb reasoning not panning out gives me the same like anger as when like the endgame writers are like not adhering to their own time travel writing, and I will forever be pissed off that they don't understand.
It's like, okay, so we're just gonna write it so Leia can opt out as a parent, but then it means that he still dies. Like what?
What? And to have interviews where JJ's like, we up to the shooting scene, we didn't know who was going to live or die. Or I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just like, I remember somebody on set or somebody saying like,
I remember people.
That whole scene is up and back and forth.
I remember people were also like looking like his death scene is like, it looks reversed. What the fuck's going on here?
I remember that too.
Right.
That was
and regardless, I don't think he had confidence in what he wrote, to be honest.
I don't think so either.
So that's nothing to do with the plan. I just don't think he was confident about how he responded to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Would he also like? Do you think it was on JJ for like the cutback of Rose, or do you think that was like someone else? Because like,
I blame everybody. I blame Kathy. Yeah. I blame JJ. I keep forgetting the writer's name.
Because wasn't JJ himself the one who was like, "We love having Kelly. She's a blessing," and like more.
Oh no, he straight up said. He straight up said the biggest blessing Rian Johnson gave me was casting Kelly Marie Tran at Celebration. I remember it vividly in my skull.
Which has to make me think like It couldn't have been him.
No,
but I mean, I don't know.
This is why people don't like JJ, because I mean, and I can't blame them for that comment, because that was very disheartening to say, like,
Yeah, we all. It was a
we all
standing
it was
ovation.
standing
We were
ovation,
there.
especially
have
because all the
footage.
hate that she was given and continued to
Right.
get, and we're like, wait, and then you just don't include it in the movie? Who are you appealing to, dude? It just didn't sit right with me. But that's a Rise of Skywalker issue. But yeah, in general, I feel like the sequel trilogy, whether you love it or hate it, I don't think it was necessary that they one, have a plan, or two, have a same director. 'Cause that's what some people are talking about too. It kind of goes to Ben's question, like, should a single director handle a full trilogy? That's not necessary either. You can have another director. It's just nice to have, like the original trilogy. George Lucas had a vision for the original trilogy. It would have been nice to have somebody have a vision at least,
Yeah,
of not necessarily a plan, but just like a vision of what they really
But tell
want
a
to see.
complete story
Yeah.
with your movie. Also, I think is also a lesson.
True.
I'll go back to the example of when Peter Jackson shot Lord of the Rings. They didn't give him more money to up the budgets for Two Towers and Return of the King until Fellowship was the complete and success that it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because Fellowship tells, I mean, obviously it cuts off and we know the journey is going to be on, but Fellowship tells a complete thing of like all this stuff happening with these characters and the start of their arcs, and it very much is its own deal, regardless of its piece in this bigger journey. And so they're like, cool, we saw you tell this journey, let's continue on, instead of like, okay, like we're gonna like do this and then fling it over there, and like, you know what I mean, like it's just I don't know.
It's so weird because like in my hindsight of the trilogy, like I still very much like love 7 and 8, despite like where 9 leads us. And maybe it's just because like maybe I have not completely taken 9 to heart as like a part of everything, because it does feel so disjointed. I feel like I would be more affected by it if there was another story to come, but because I know it's just like a blank slate after this, like
You know, it's the end.
you can like pick that out too, and it's just like the void's still open. I don't know, it's weird. But again, like it hasn't like diminished my enjoyment of 7 or 8 at all.
No, it never will. It's, you know, they're always going to stand for those movies as they are.
Yeah, but again, yeah, with the regards of the plan, I think those showcase like they were good.
And it's funny.
You don't really fully need it.
It's funny. It was during this time between 8 and 9. People didn't like 8. People didn't like 9. People kept saying like, "Oh, because Filoni's doing so well in Mando, Filoni should be our creative director for everything in Star Wars." And I'm like, no, like that's not. We don't need a single person being like the creative director. Star Wars does. Feige is a lightning in a bottle. Like it's going to be very hard to find somebody like Feige who's that involved with a lot of different things.
He's also a producer. He's a mega producer, like Kathy is.
Exactly.
But even when you have like the Marvel stuff, which does have like a big through line, like you hear like a lot of the directors, like especially James Gunn has been very vocal about. He's been like, studio's not really like bothering me on my vision, man. Like I'm able to tell what I want. I'm hardly met with like a back on. Now, granted, maybe it like can differ from artist to artist, but like it doesn't seem like they're like the end all be all control of like every single. I mean, yeah, some aspects, but it's not like the core. Like you don't have the creative freedom of the voices like you do. So yeah, you can't just have the singular vision.
So it's going to be very interesting. And as far as for the next couple of movies, everything seems pretty standalone. That's really going to help in terms of probably not having this argument again, because
and
I don't think Patty's going to be talking to Taika.
And the most exciting thing about Star Wars to me is getting to see different people's takes on Star Wars versus different people's connecting the dots on Star Wars. Like we get people's fresh emotions of like, okay, I responded to Star Wars this way as a kid, and now it means this to me in my adult life. But here's how I want to grow as a person, as a professional, as someone who wants to tell stories for, you know, a young audience growing into Star Wars. Here's what I would want them to feel like, to see, to remember. And I very much feel like Ryan took that approach versus connecting the dots, making sure stuff was right, making sure stuff made sense, quote unquote, to like this end all be all kind of synergy of everything. And I think
Spice Runner,
right, and that has again there's an immense weight with any piece of art to end any ongoing thing, to tell an ending chapter of anything, but it still doesn't negate you from telling an authentic story and telling a story that was true to things became before you, and adding new things that make sense and grow upon it. And I think that's kind of where I leave that off, because it's like, again, and maybe he did truly think that that's what he did, and that's completely reasonable for someone who's making films. It's like, I did my best, man, and that's what I got, and I'm okay to disagree with that. But all
the fact that
indications,
he's talking about it in other interviews, saying
right,
like,
it seems that he's doubting himself,
Yeah.
and so that's why I think we bring it up in terms of like, just, you know, tell your story, man, and don't half-ass it.
guns,
You know,
yeah.
like.
I was actually curious with like when Rise of Skywalker was coming out. I always did my best to like avoid it, but like they always pop up, and it's not the end all be all of like make or break an opinion. But when the Rotten Tomatoes score was floating around for Rise of Skywalker, what was your guys' like first thoughts on that?
I remember I got spoiled because I was in the theater. I was staying away from everything. And then right before I'm about to see the movie, somebody tweeted me the 29% or something like that. It was low. I think it's at a 50 right now, but it was like very, very low when the early reviews came out, and I'm like,
I think it was 40 something for me.
40 something.
Yeah, it was
I
like
forget.
58 for me, I think. Maybe.
It was in the ballpark. I'm just the main
Did we
thing
also
I thought
record
was
the movie?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Did you?
Because like I it was like floating around because like nobody like tagged shit. And like my like first initial thought was like, but it's just like it's probably just like fan service stuff to have a complete wrap up in like the best ways.
Right,
Like
right.
I'm gonna be satisfied. It'll be fine. It can't suck. Like right.
Right? Yeah, I thought the first thing that came to my mind was like, JJ, what did you do? Because I was like, oh no. Because throughout all of 2019, I'm thinking like, are they appealing to the families that didn't like Last Jedi? That was my biggest fear, and it kind of did come to fruition a little bit, a lot of it. But yeah, that was my biggest fear. I'm like, are they appealing to the wrong fan base here, or maybe they don't know what they're really doing, which got me a little bit nervous. But I was still hopeful for a good Reylo ending.
Yeah, almost.
Almost, yeah.
And I was like, I remember, like, I told the story, but like, I was in such like a tennis racket match with myself of just like my first viewing. I was in like,
I remember,
despair. And I had a second viewing immediately after, and I'm sitting there, and like, a man should never feel sulked when you see a long time ago on the screen, and like, there's a crawl going, you're surrounded by fans who are like, hey, and you're just like, and then I watch it again, and I'm like, wait, I dig this. Like, okay, everything's fine. But then I go back and forth. And I'm like, fuck. Like, I don't want to believe it. Like,
I went 4 times opening weekend. I went Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and each time, the first time I remember being with my friends, and I'm like, as soon as Kylo says in that little closet Adam Driver voice, "You are a Palpatine," I'm like. Oh no!
I was supposed to go 10 times. I was like, I'm gonna break my endgame record, like in the opening weekend. And then like I go a couple times Thursday, and like okay, and I go back Friday, and I'm like, and that strip canceled.
Maybe I like some parts.
That strip canceled my Saturday, which I do regret because I think it would have been a nice audience. But then
I like going for the audience. Yeah,
it's like, damn.
But I just slid in my seat. I'm like Palpatine. I'm like that's when I was like, okay, maybe the Rotten Tomatoes thing does kind of.
It was such a weird like live feeling like watching, because I was like, all right, cool adventure. What do you mean you recognize it?
Pasana action sequence that JJ was excited about.
No, that's the thing. I'm like watching. I'm like, what do you mean you've seen that shit? No, stop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oof.
Anyways,
hey, nobody, where'd you
this
go?
for hours.
Yeah, and I'm sure we will during the commentary, but
that's gonna be a 3-hour commentary.
Man.
That'll straight be our conclusion.
We're just gonna be like, pause. Hold on.
Fuck your sync. Like, we got a rant.
Oh man.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
This was a fun one.
Oh yeah. What?
Good on you, Ben. You tell him. We all love
Thank
it
you,
here,
Ben.
so.
We always
We'll be
do.
right
too.
behind you. Tag us. We'll defend you. We'll hop in.
Maybe don't do all that.
No, don't
really
like,
brought
I'm beyond my fighting days. I'm retired.
People did
now.
used to do that to me. They used to tag me into stuff. I'm like, Evan, back me up
what
here.
do you think of it?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
This is literally my thing. Is like I suck at like arguing, just because.
Right?
And it's just like.
I used to do it so
Fuck,
much
like,
on this
I'm
app. I was
tired.
unhinged.
Yeah, I'm
I was
tired.
unhinged.
And no, but I would literally be like, God damn it! If Evan or Carson were here, they could back me up with the theological, like, just like the fucking mythology and like storytelling. They could really help me.
I used to get like 2016 was a dark time because 2016
We were
was when
heated. I remember being.
I was heated. People were like, Kylo Ren's, you know what? Like the interrogation scene. I'm like, oh no.
That was back when I was like, people were like, Rogue One is the best film I've ever seen. I'm like, have you seen The Force Awakens? And I'm like,
I am in such a like horrible position when it comes to Rogue One arguments because people will be like, it's better than Force Awakens, and I'm like, Rogue One has shitty things, and then the people will be like, Rogue One sucks, and I'm like,
no,
there's great stuff. Because I really love Rogue One, but then like, I'm like, why the fuck do you have to pin shit against?
And it was because it was like the first thing that was not the sequel trilogy that was out, and it was like, oh, we got to compare them.
I like how dark it was. I'm like, okay, cool.
I started an article in 2016. I was like, which is better, Force Awakens or Rogue One? And I abandoned it, rightfully so.
I still an article from Post vs. Skywalker that's like, I can't remember what I titled it. I got like one paragraph in. It was about like Last Jedi
I do have an
storytelling
article.
versus Rise of Skywalker storytelling. I just got so depressed that I just abandoned it.
Nice.
I do have an article. I don't know why I wrote it, but I have an article of like, what's the better film, Civil War or Logan?
Wow.
Because I had like 5 specific like 3 points of like a versus
Kind of interesting,
match.
actually.
Yeah, I gotta look back.
I like both of those movies a lot. Yeah.
Me too. Who was the winner? I think I had Civil War.
I think I would say Logan.
Dang.
I think it probably is Logan. I don't know. I forgot what I was ranking on.
I mean, Civil War is my favorite MCU movie. Civil War and
Yeah, back in 2016, though, I might have been like, oh, Logan. Like, I mean, Civil War 2017.
That was just like a year apart. I don't know why I was like
Yeah.
pairing them.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah. Does it about wrap things up here?
Yep.
I think so.
Well, I'm just gonna end the line. No. All right. Yeah. So, episode 51, a new era has begun, and we are crazier than ever. God, doing a live show at Celebration will be insane.
Oh, I can't wait.
I can't
But
wait.
yeah, Carson, where can they find you?
You guys can find me at Celebration with these guys in 2022. Less than a year away now. As of last week, 2 weeks ago. Oh my god. Anyways, that would be amazing. Cannot wait for that. But yeah, we'll be reacting to the rest of Bad Batch, and we also have Loki starting on Wednesdays this week. I can't believe Falcon and Winter Soldier just ended. To feel
All
like.
these Marvel shows. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired.
We don't get a break. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. You guys can find me on Twitter at the Film Carson, talking about all this stuff. Watch movies. I'm slacking. Our letterbox is literally just our commentaries. It's embarrassing.
There's dust on your letterbox.
Dust. Where's the last Akira Kurosawa movie I watched? Gone. I don't even know where. 3 years ago. I gotta pull out my criterions this week. I don't know.
That's amazing. You guys can find me on Twitter at HarrisEV9. Tomorrow we will be 1 month away from Big Brother 23 coming out.
Everybody watch Big Brother.
Everybody watch Big Brother.
Paramount Plus, baby.
I'm hyped. So we're 1 month away from that. Yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the Bad Batch this week or this season. I'm excited for Loki. We'll be doing that on My Cup of Tea. Everybody also watch the anime 86. It's a seasonal anime started in January. 86 is fantastic.
It's a sad one.
It's a sad drama action. It has it all. It has it all.
The drama action, okay.
Total Drama Island. No. It has it all. But yeah, that's find me at Harris EV9.
And you guys can find me at Camp Wawanakwa, competing for the Total Drama.
Total drama.
Nice.
Nice pull.
Yeah.
Nice ones. You can find all of our social medias linked in the description below. We're gonna start up with Loki.
Oh, Evan's seen 86, Evan.
Yeah, Ben. Me and Ben talk about it on Twitter. He's great. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be. We're gonna be back on the theory train, I'm sure, for Loki, for better or worse. But with that being said, if you enjoyed our pod, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if not already. Check out our Fast and Furious commentaries. We're still going through the Fast saga, leading up to it. With that being said, if you enjoyed, have a great day, and may the force be with you always. I said it.